333. R.I.P.P. Don P. PhD. Yo. I said, R.I.P. TV. Tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? R.I.P.P. God bless the real. Only for the righteous. The rest will go to hell. Flipping through the book of Revelation, figure it out. Transliterate the translation, do it yourself. It's the last days, life is a test and we in a cage. Concrete jungle, everyday struggle. Fuck the pain, I'm on some HNIC shit. Hegelian 3 shit. If you don't know what I mean, you was never G. Real shit, R.I.P. Yo, P, play that beat back, 333. Burn some weed, repeat that. Shake me up a tuka pack, break me off for 20 piece. I'm gone, never looking back. Y'all can't talk to me. R.I.P. TV, tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? Like the weed, play some IMD for me. It's hell on earth for real, but y'all don't wanna see paper trail politics. All the shit was prophecy, strictly for the family. Peace to the prodigy. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams, bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams, bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. Yo.
Jason, what up, homie? Yeah, no, I already knew what you meant. It's all good. Yo, so, what up? Welcome to Gray Matter. And if you stumbled upon this show by accident, thinking that we might be doing some rap music and whatnot tonight, that's not what this is all about. As a matter of fact, my homie's here right now. And we're going to see what this is all about. So for those who have stumbled upon Gray Matter thinking I'm about to smoke blunts and make rap music, you are sorely mistaken. Football heads, unite! What up, homie?
What's good? You know that I don't do what I'm doing right now, and I'll explain. I never rock any team affiliation sort of thing. That's just never who I was. If I'm not playing for your squad, you're not giving me money to play for your squad, there's no reason for me to wear your paraphernalia, even my teams. But today, this is post-draft show, I decided to rock a shirt for the team who I thought, beyond winning the draft, won the free agency period. Bam.
Well, I mean, I knew when I saw the top of it that it was the Browns because there's no other. It's the Browns, right?
Do it. I know, because who else, right? I had to do it. And you know they got my favorite running back, Chubb Rock. That's my guy, for sure. I mean, they crushed it. They got my old receiver, Odell. They got Jarvis Landry, who I love at receiver.
Yeah, they're super fucking loaded. Loaded.
They made great decisions in the draft. This is a whole new day.
They're loaded.
For that Cleveland Brown squad. So
they're loaded, and their division that they're playing is actually on a downswing across the board.
They're in like, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time for them.
Well, we talked about this last week. My theory on the super team. There's only like 4 teams that are loading up for real. Like loading up. A lot of them are stripping down because of the salary cap and whatnot. But there are 4 teams that have just completely loaded up. And I'm still... The only reason I'm even putting Kansas City in that conversation is because how they revamped their offensive line. Because they still only have Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill now. So who the fuck... All right, so if they're getting pressure on Mahomes and you're double teaming both of those, now what do you do? We've seen it happen. You can actually shut them down.
Yeah.
So,
right. And we also seen, and this is what I've always known, it was a weakness in his game. Tyreek Hill's hands.
Yeah.
He's a body catcher.
Yeah.
He can fly by you, but he's not just going to dive in the back of the end zone like a CD Lamb and do a one-handed catch. You can't depend on that for him.
Nah, he's a. Although he might learn to be more clutch with his body catching, but Amendola and Edelman were both body catchers, but they both made clutch catches in traffic.
So was Wes Welker,
Yeah.
when we saw where that got him.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that was a little bit too high, he couldn't handle it because he wasn't a hands catcher.
Because he wasn't a hands catcher. And shout out to Webster Slaughter, one of the best hands catchers to do it. Former Brown.
All right. So, welcome to Gray Matter Flea. What up, homie? You did indeed make it in time. So, let's get the elephant out of the room now. This is the post-draft wrap-up. So, quick grade. Who, clearly for you, was the Browns, but just...
No. I said like the free agency period. Who
All right.
won?
Who won the draft to you?
Bears.
Yeah, that was easy.
Yeah.
Bears did excellent.
They did excellent. Straight up.
All right.
And in a division in which other teams in that division also need quarterbacks, y'all did the right thing. Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the green and yellow elephant that's going to be in the NFL room until he makes a decision or they make a decision. Now, it's crazy. This is the only thing we're going to say about it because it's going to dominate the entire offseason. Is he could easily just stop and go host Jeopardy. So he doesn't really... He has other options that he really likes and enjoys. So it's not even...
He kicked back his soon-to-be wife.
Yeah. She's killing it. She's, you know, she's
still young in her career.
And she's highly regarded. So, like, you know, she's... And now you're linked to him. So that's only going to open up more doors for you.
Exactly.
Like, she's, you know...
Every Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Here on out.
Yep, every single one.
Silly ass hats.
So, who do you think had the worst draft?
Oh, it was easy. Also easy. It's like a tie. It's like almost a tie for second. Almost. But Denver, you played yourself. You had an opportunity to grab Justin Fields, and you played yourself.
They're swinging big for Peyton Manning. You can already tell.
Well, yeah.
Unless
you get Aaron
Rodgers, not Peyton Manning, but
that's the only way you didn't play yourself. Other than that, you played yourself.
I think
you trust Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater's the answer.
Kerry, I think whenever the Aaron Rodgers news came out, because it was the draft morning, I don't want to be here no more. So that just changed things for everyone.
Right.
Outside of those teams that are just they're set, right? So I think Denver and Oakland being on the short list. There was only 3 teams that he said. San Francisco, the Raiders, and the Broncos, and he's not going to San Francisco. So
This is what Rodgers said?
This is what Rodgers said. There's 3 teams that he would prefer to go to. San Francisco because of home, that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. Denver's easy.
Denver because, you know, he can just they got a really stacked roster, and he's got the whole John Elway effect of bringing in a veteran and winning.
They got good young receivers.
And you also have to go in with is he going to host Jeopardy in the off-season thing? Can he fly from Denver to L.A. real quick? And it's like a couple hours. Bam, done. Easy. And then the other one's Vegas. He can drive. He doesn't have to fly anymore. He can drive if he really wanted to. But Vegas roster, it is a shit show, and they sure as fuck didn't help themselves in this draft any bit at all.
3 safeties. What are you thinking about?
Dude, they're terrible at the draft.
What are you thinking about? What you did made no sense. It made no sense. Yeah, that.
All right, so I want you to think about this. So Mike Mayock, their GM, supposed to be like a whiz kid or a guru or whatever, right?
Well, he's good with salary cap, yeah.
He's good with salary cap, but he was with the Patriots, right?
Okay.
So that gives you you had success, so that he gets jobs elsewhere. So then he goes over to Cleveland, right? Does absolutely nothing with Cleveland to deserve another job, and then goes to the Raiders and is still continuing his trend of being terrible. Nice. What up, homie?
What up, homie? What's the word, guys?
I mean, you know, we just now getting down into the post-draft breakdown and seeing, giving our best and worst drafts right now.
And yeah,
Oh.
it was mandatory you show up because we got to talk about your team.
Nah, I always gotta show up, man. I gotta, I always gotta come in.
Always on the move, freezing like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Raiders, dude, what a terrible draft.
That was just awful. Awful.
Yeah, they really have a history since Gruden's been there of reaching in the first round, like really bad.
But it goes beyond their draft because their whole free agency period was a head scratcher. You got rid of most of your best linemen to then draft linemen, but not until later in the later rounds. You pick up Kenyon Drake for some unknown reason. When you got Jacobs right there, you didn't get better at receiver. I don't know. You didn't get better on defense. You just picked up a bunch of safeties. I mean, the safeties you got are great, but if you're going to have to rely on them, what about the front seven?
Yeah, that was befuddling. That whole reach for Leatherwood in the first round was just like, okay.
And then you got Ngakoue, but then who you got on the other side? Who you have in the interior?
Yo, so
Who's-
nice. Who you think had the best draft?
Besides my Jets, besides the good old Jets, baby. I would say, I like what Cleveland put together pretty much. I mean, they just went and got a whole bunch of, I mean, their offense is gonna be fine. So they went and got a lot of defensive players, and that defense is gonna look a little. They gonna look tough.
Well, I thought the Browns did really well. I thought the Patriots knocked it out of the park as always.
Oh yeah.
Well, drafting wise, they get better in the later rounds, but they actually did well in the earlier rounds.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm just talking about, okay, well, we won't say draft-wise because Bill is very hit or miss. We'll just say personnel-wise, they usually hit it out the park.
Yeah.
They nailed it this time because they didn't make any moves and all the players they wanted fell right to them.
As soon as Trey Lance went to San Francisco,
We knew it. We called it.
They got Mac Jones, and they're not going to have to reach to get him.
And
Perfectly.
then they were able to move up to get the D tackle from Alabama that slid all the way to the second round. I told you, this second round was insane. There was so much talent in the second round.
Because a lot of people slid, and it was based off of the moves. That's why I said that, like, San Francisco and Atlanta really controlled what this draft was going to look like.
Yeah.
When
And
it's
shout out Kerry Bryant for getting Tony too. That's a real good pickup, right?
Well, the tail end of today's
Uh,
the tail end of today's episode is the Giants breakdown, and we will talk about how they went from having no offensive weapons to now Danny Dum Dum has no excuses because they have a pretty solid skill set around him now.
No weapons to no excuses now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see how the offensive line does, but his skill set is the skill positions around him are pretty solid.
And I thought we should have went line earlier. Yeah, I thought we should have went line.
Well,
earlier.
especially Kerry, with the availability of some really, really dope linemen at the top because of the quarterback and receiver run that happened early.
Exactly.
Dude, that second round was blowing my mind because you were seeing, like, whenever they would put up, like, the player attributes, it'd be like two-time first-team All-American center would be drafted in the third fucking round. I was like, how did he get – what?
Oh, I want him out of Alabama?
Yeah.
He was hurt. Landon Dickerson.
Yeah.
He was hurt, and that's why. But, I mean, when they did Mac Jones Pro Day, he was also in the video doing cartwheels. So he didn't look that damn hurt to me. So he should have gone earlier. But this is what I'm saying, though. I mean, you look at the linebackers who went late.
Yeah, what we said, setter, guards, linebackers, and safeties. All look at the top safety off the board didn't go till the middle of the second round. So
I know. To Gruden and them.
yeah,
They didn't even need him because Abrams out of Ohio State is a monster.
and if I'm not mistaken, they just re-signed Carl Joseph back to to the
Really?
Raiders.
Oh, because he left the Browns. Yeah.
Yeah, so they got like 90 safeties on their squad right now.
Wait, what are they doing? This is not 7-on-7 football, y'all. It's the NFL.
I think that's what they're trying to play, though, is to get it down to safeties playing these hybrid positions. Because you can move Carl Joseph to a hybrid position because he's a big hitter.
So then, what you're saying is they need more speed.
They're loading up to play against Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes twice a year.
Yeah.
So, speaking of good drafts, that's another team that did really, really well.
It's quite a few.
Those Chargers
Chargers
did excellent.
knocked it out of the park.
Yes,
Killed.
they are doing everything they possibly can, and they understand what they have. So, nice. Who do you think had the worst draft besides the Raiders? Because we all agree that the Raiders were terrible.
Yeah, the Raiders was terrible. Who else had a pretty bad draft? I would say probably had a bad one, man. I would say Detroit. I didn't really like a lot of the first step Detroit got.
Well, okay, so with Detroit in Motor City, Dan Campbell, I saw an interview with him today. So they had Penny, that's their number one player in the draft. So him to fall to them at 7,
Yeah.
they were ecstatic. And then he said after that it was about building the line. They aren't even looking at next year. They're looking at the future.
I'm gonna be watching Penny's career, and then I'm gonna be looking at Jamar Chase's career, because it's that grabbing Odell Beckham or grabbing Aaron Donald scenario.
Yeah, it is.
So as you look at it now, all these years later, Aaron Donald clearly was, come on. So Penny Sewell may be that same thing. This is not to say that Jamar Chase won't be dope, but with Penny Sewell, you have a potential Hall of Famer.
All right, so 2 things on that. With Penny, what they've just done to him is now they've also put a chip on his shoulder because those teams that should have took him didn't. Now he's going to play pissed off. And he already played angry because he's offensive lineman, and they do that. Secondly, I can guarantee you Jamar Chase is going to have huge numbers because Joey Boyband, that's his homeboy. He had
You got T on the other side who's going to take attention.
He is, but Jamar Chase had 20 fucking touchdowns in one college season with this kid.
No doubt.
Yeah, he's gonna throw the ball his way at all times.
Sure, but when you have Anthony Munoz, arguably the greatest left tackle ever, plead with the Bengals to take this dude, I don't know. You should probably listen.
All right, another bad draft, and it doesn't surprise me at all. Who's the worst drafting team in the NFL that's successful? The Packers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They took Eric Stokes with their number 1 pick.
Yeah, I was gonna mention the Packers as well. They did pretty bad. I mean,
Not only that, they got the whole Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be there no more shit going on.
Yeah,
And then you draft a guy named Amari Rodgers. What a dick move!
I think that distracted them a lot. That Aaron Rodgers scenario. It didn't really.
Early anyway.
It's not panning out for them too well.
Nah.
Yeah, Green Bay is going down, man, and they're a great franchise, but they're going down.
The Saints had a questionable draft this year.
Well, okay. I do want to give a shout out to their first pick, Peyton Turner, representing the UH Cougs. Let's go, baby.
Cougs.
We had some Cougs get drafted. We had receiver, we had linebackers.
No, you guys had a lot. You had good representation this draft.
We repped. We normally do, it's on the low. But yeah, after that they did pick up Ian Book, quarterback out of Notre Dame. I thought that was an interesting pick for them. I actually didn't hate that one. Because what that said,
yeah, I didn't hate that
definitively to me was that the gadget man isn't ever going to play quarterback.
Well, that contract, the 4 years of all voidable and drafting Ian Book, that's writings on the wall. Like, all right, we'll give you a shot, in camp, but you know what we're going to do with you, Cordell Stewart.
He's gonna exactly. I was just about to say he's gonna be Slash.
Yeah.
That's what he's gonna be.
As he should be.
As he should be. Tim Tebow could have had the same career.
Also, side note on that, the Jaguars are working out Tim Tebow
Tim Tebow as a tight end.
at tight end.
Tight end.
Yeah.
It was about damn time. And guess what? Trevor Lawrence is the one that got him out of retirement. But also
It's actually Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. And I think what Urban's trying to do is, it would not surprise me at all if Tim Tebow gets a roster spot and he never sees the fucking field. It's all about that locker room leadership and showing Trevor Lawrence how to be a real leader.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
what's gonna happen.
Urban knows what Tim is. He had him.
For someone who actually really, really gives a shit about football. Whereas Trevor Lawrence is like, I have other interests in life. Yeah, football's cool. You see this hair, though? I could do hair commercials with Palomalu and Mahomes all day. I'm good.
Yeah.
Endorsement money is going to be crazy in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
What?
Shout out to the Jags, man. They gonna be looking pretty decent this year.
All right, so the other team that I thought had a questionable draft was, and it's surprising because of their history, but it's not surprising because this is the first time that they had to do it alone. The Ravens.
Yeah.
No Ozzie Newsome calling the shots anymore.
I know.
And it did not look like a Ravens draft at all. It looked like they were swinging a little bit on things because
they just needed weapons for
that's the
Jackson.
thing with their offense that they've set up. They've also painted themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
Like, there's only certain types of players that you can get on your team now. So the draft for them is going to be iffy because Ozzie Newsome used to kill this. So he'd get tight ends, D tackles.
Famers is what he gets.
Yeah, he'd get all those cogs in the machine that would have Hall of Fame careers.
All-time players. Ray Lewis. Ed Reed. He gets all-time players.
Jonathan Ogden.
Come on. This is what I'm talking about. I did see where
Mosley.
Villanueva, the tackle who used to play for the Steelers, he just signed with the Ravens. So
That was an interesting side. I was going to bring that up because going to a hated rival is odd, but I think also because of how Pittsburgh treated Villanueva during the whole kneeling thing, because they totally threw him under the fucking bus. When there was backlash about him going out on his own, when you know that Tomlin was just like, yeah, go do your thing, whatever. You know how Tomlin is. He's like, yeah, do whatever you need to do. I don't give a fuck. And then whenever there was a backlash, they threw him right under the fucking bus. Being a military guy, I'm sure he probably thought about that when he was picking his team.
Yeah, for sure.
He was like, oh, you know what? Fuck those guys.
Yeah. And he's faced those guys in practice, so he knows exactly who he wants to go after.
And he knows Pouncey just fucking retired over there. That Pittsburgh is really on a decline.
I mean, and they went running back first, but you gotta have a line for the running back to run behind.
Their running game was so terrible last year that they had to do it. They had to upgrade because they couldn't do it in free agency.
I get it, and I do like Najee Harris. I don't know. They had an opportunity to get a lineman that really mattered, though, like one of the good ones.
Well, I think
there were other running backs behind.
There were, but I think
obviously
Najee brings in the off the field aspect too because he already has set up a charitable organization in Pittsburgh, like in day one. Like he's really big into that shit. So he's already hit the ground running on that. That's the team image guy. He was too good not to, and he's really fucking dope. He kind of fits. He's kind of like a Le'Veon Bell, kind of a little bit, kind of.
Not as much pass catching skills as Le'Veon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just a little bit.
Right.
Anything more closer than anything they've had over the past few years. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. And then Connor left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I get it, but I do want to bring up that Travis Etienne signing because the Jaguars, obviously, they did well getting Trevor, but after that, I think they should have went lineman earlier. I understand why they got Travis Etienne, his college teammate, just like
you could go back and watch our draft special, and I called that one as soon as they traded back into that. I told Kerry, I said they're going to go get Etienne just because of Trevor Lawrence, guaranteed.
I know you were right, and I was hoping
they want to make
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we all understand, especially shit like that. I just knew it. That was that's such a bad football team thing to do. Such a bad thing. It's so typical of a bad team making decisions like that.
Go get his homeboy. Come on, be smarter.
And they traded up to go get him.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at all the other teams that were in the line after that. I don't really look at any of them taking a running back, except possibly if he would have still been there when Buffalo came up, maybe.
Right. They probably would have got.
They would have grabbed him, and then, like, Tampa Bay was literally having luxury picks all fucking night long. It was just like, yeah, whatever we want, whatever.
Yeah.
And still they got some hella fine players.
Well, their GM is killing it. That guy is.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah,
re-sign 23 players off of your Super Bowl winning team
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not been done.
and all the coaches, and then go
Not during the free agency period. It's never happened.
and then you go and have a pretty solid draft too.
Mm-hmm.
They had the options of luxury, which is Kyle Trask in the second round, and me and Kerry texted about this. This perfect slot for him to go sit for a while and learn. It's fucking Tom Brady. Like, come on.
They were saying that they targeted him. They targeted Trask. They wanted him.
Yeah.
And that's probably why that's why they didn't mind wasting a second round draft pick on him. Like, yeah, whatever, we'll just get him now. Who cares?
Yeah, he can actually play. I watched a lot of Florida games.
Yeah.
Yeah, him, Kyle Pitts, and Tony, man, them three was killing.
Well, I will give him credit on this. A lot of the highlights that I saw, he is not afraid to throw it to his guys.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. Not at all.
Yeah.
He trusts, like, oh, whatever, that's Pitts. Yeah, whatever, he's going to go get it. Go get that.
And the thing, he had to sit behind De'Aaron King, who played for the Cougs. Now he plays for University of Miami in high school. Then he had to sit behind Felipe. I forget his last name. When he got to my when he first got to Florida. Yeah. So he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't mind sitting and waiting his turn. That's patience, and that's good. Also, he could have gotten snatched up by Minnesota if he was still there, because they were definitely getting a quarterback. And I do like that Kellen Mond got that. That was one of the best moves they made. So I didn't really mind Minnesota's draft. They got Lyman.
All right, so a story came out today that last year the Packers were targeting Justin Jefferson, and they tried to move up to get him and were unsuccessful.
Mm-hmm.
And then also with the bevy of wide receivers who came out last year who balled as rookies. And when they didn't get Justin Jefferson, their solution was to trade up and get Jordan Love. That was their justification. They tried with Justin Jefferson, it didn't work.
That was the reasoning?
Yeah, they tried.
So wait a minute. So now what you have to do is look at all the receivers that went after Justin.
That's what I said. There were so many of them that balled.
Receivers.
Oh, there were two of them. They tried to get Brandon Ayuk too.
Okay. What? That other receivers.
So you trade up, then you use draft capital to move up to get Jordan goddamn Love, who didn't even put on a pair of shoulder pads last year.
Even what you could have done, you could have gone defense. There was no excuse.
No, they go defense all the time, dude. They've drafted a defender in the first round for like 12 years.
They go defense all the time, and their defense is never in the top 10.
Yeah, they're really bad at drafting, man. It surprises me that they're so good, but they've also had Hall of Fame level quarterback play for 30 fucking years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And that really does change things.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, so let's just run through these first. Trevor Lawrence, that was easy. Home run pick for them. That was I don't question his desire to play football. This guy has been the number one ranked player at every single level and has delivered.
Yep.
Flawless, man. Flawless.
It's
man.
hard to live up to expectations. You can't name a lot of players who've done it. LeBron James has, Michael Jordan, but no one even knew what Michael Jordan was going to be.
This kid has been the chosen one since he like quarterback camps in junior high.
Yeah, junior high school.
And he lived up to it the entire way. So I don't expect him to do anything else. He is, dude. He's like 6'6". He looks like the white Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, yeah, man. He's just the perfect quarterback. Everything about
I knew you would
him,
like that one.
Everything about him is just done right.
So, Kerry, the reason I say that is they both run the same.
Yeah, because they're both tall. Because Collins like 6'4", 6'5".
He's
something
6'4" and some change.
Like, yeah, they got scoots.
They do, and they have that, but their knees don't gonna get up very high, so they
But
have.
they're upright.
Yeah, and they have that oddly long stride for not lifting their knees up somehow.
And also they're not really, they have speed, but they're not fast runners. They're strong runners though.
Yeah.
So it's hard to knock them off their.
That's what I said. When they run, when I saw him run, I was just like, oh my god, it looks like Kaepernick did in college, like exactly like him. He got a much better arm. I mean, Kaepernick had a cannon. Trevor Lawrence has an NFL arm because he knows how to put touch onto the ball.
Right.
All right, so Zach Wilson, nice.
Of course.
He said, "Of course, look at me." So look, he turned his head like he made the pick.
I'll mortgage the franchise on that one. Okay.
Yes, sir. Zach Wilson. We believe in Zach, baby.
Okay. We'll see.
All right, AC Slater. We'll see how Zach Morris does this year.
Yeah. My only thing is, I would have wanted to see him against some better competition. And the only reason why I don't give Trey Lance shade or these guys is because at their division, they won chips. Trey Lance in his full season won it. Didn't throw interceptions. You can see Carson Wentz won chips. So I don't mind that. But Zach Wilson, I mean, my alma mater was with him until the fourth quarter, and he had his offensive line averaged 23 years old. He had grown ass men blocking for him because they're all Mormons.
All right, so here's the question though: what are his weapons that he's throwing to? They're all Mormons too.
Well, he had this, and his boy who he grew up with, who was the receiver, he was also real nice. So I mean, and he threw to him often. He had like 20 touchdowns or some shit. Had a really good season.
So nice. How excited is Jets Nation to have Zach Morris?
Yes, man. They should be. They should be, man.
All right, so I got some bad news for you, nice. Zach Morris is shook, son. He's a shook one, son.
Everybody's saying that from that video that came out.
Wait, what video?
Yo, as soon as Waddle was throwing up some signs, and Zach Wilson looked the most uncomfortable white man in the history of white people. Yo, he was so uncomfortable.
He was very uncomfortable. But
that action.
But nah, when he gets on that field, it's gonna be a different story, man.
Yeah, but my question is, what's going to happen when he gets to the streets of New York?
That rookie camp gonna hit different. They're gonna ask him on rookie day to sing a Snoop Dogg song and Crip Walk at the same time. He better know how to do it.
yeah. You know, he's gonna be all right, man.
So wait, you went from one quarterback who saw ghosts to now one who's afraid of everything, his own shadow.
It looks like Zach Wilson might be afraid of black people.
He's gonna be fine.
He's got all the arm talent in the world, dude.
Yes, he certainly does.
So the one thing, Kerry, that I'll play devil's advocate against your argument. Patrick Mahomes didn't face any fucking defensive talent in the Big 12 either when he was in college.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, I get that, but also he was the talent.
Yeah, of course.
Threw 50 times a game. He had a 774-yard game, 7 touchdowns.
That's why I said they don't play defense in the Big 12 at all.
I'm saying, but he put those numbers up, though. You didn't see anybody just throw 700 yards.
Nah, so I guess you guys are excited. So Trey Lance to San Francisco, I called that one. That one was easy because of the rumors of the whole family thing. That was easy.
That was huge.
And
San Francisco, great spot for him.
Well, great spot for him, but good on them for being able to move up to get their guy and keep everyone else in the dark and throwing the rest of the draft kind of in disarray after them.
But that's also what I was saying. It didn't make sense for them to move up to 3 to grab Mac Jones.
We knew that. That was easy.
And it should have been like Justin Fields or Trey. That's the only.
That was just the smoke screen, you know.
All right.
But,
so, Kyle Pitts at number 4, that was expected because of the talent level, and I didn't think that Atlanta was going to. They could have taken Justin Fields. Clearly, they didn't have any faith in him whatsoever. But there was no way that they were going to replace what they already have with fucking Mac Jones. They already got the older version of Mac Jones and Matt Ryan. So just keep the one you got. Plus, I'm not hearing a whole lot right now about trying to move Julio at this moment. So if Julio stays healthy and you got him and Pitts together on the field, that's...
Oh, my God. That's
scary. And they picked up the 5th-year option on Ridley, which we all knew. But Hayden Hurst is out.
Hayden Hurst, yeah. So they drafted a tight end, though.
Yeah, I mean, Pitts, I know. So that's what I'm saying is Pitts is going to get on the field immediately.
Immediately. And you already have Julio, who... Even at a diminished Julio, still commands Julio attention. And then you have Calvin Ridley, who has proven himself to be a number 1 receiver in the NFL and a very productive one. So, Pitts is going to fucking dominate, dude. He is going to dominate.
Cal Pitts never dropped one pass in the entire college season last season.
And we all know, for some reason, Matt Ryan does not like to throw touchdowns to Julio Jones. So look for Kyle Pitts to have a lot of red zone action this year.
A shit ton of touchdowns. Gonzalez.
That's weird.
And he don't drop the ball.
That's what I'm saying, Kerry. So fantasy-wise, look for Pitts to have a very productive season because, you know.
I'm telling you, fantasy-wise, people are going to get Pitts early. He's going to be one of the first few off. It's going to be Kelsey, Kittle, and then probably Pitts. Even though you can't go wrong at tight end. I'm honest with you, in the league, not these days.
I run with Gesicki most of the time because he's affordable and he always scores touchdowns for some reason.
So many tight ends you could grab.
All right, so Cincinnati, they were the first one to make a questionable move. We just discussed it, the whole Jamar Chase thing. I think that's the whole let's bring in his guy. They probably actually asked Joey Boyband, like, yo, what do you think about A, B, and C? And he was just like, nah, get my guy. Give me my guy. I need my guy.
I knew they asked him. For that pick to happen, they asked him.
Well, Dice, I always have to remind everybody. When Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson were on the field together, Jamar Chase was the motherfucking man. And then look what Justin Jefferson did in the NFL. So we can imagine what this kid's...
with Adam Thielen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's built like a running back, man, and he don't drop the ball. And he's a great route runner as well, too. He's pretty fast.
He's got a nose for the end zone, too. So he's one of those guys that just likes to score. He scores a lot.
Yeah, he scores a lot.
So I mean, it's questionable. I would have I called it. It's like you got Burrow. You have to get Petty at that spot. That's
Not get him. We've been saying weeks.
Even if you only can keep him for the 5 years in the rookie with the additional option, that's 5 years guaranteed of that guy holding it down.
Yeah.
In your weakest position that you had, because you also have Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins both clipped 1,000 yards receiving last year. So.
Thank you. And you got Joe Mixon in the back.
And there was receivers galore in this draft. So that's more of a let's get Joey Backstreet, his homeboy.
Yeah, that's all it was.
You know, I don't know any of the guys' names in Backstreet, but if this was in sync, then Justin Timberlake just got his homeboy.
That's why I just call him Joey Boy Band, because it could be any boy. He could be on 98 Degrees. he could be on Old Town. You know what I'm saying?
See, I don't know any. I can't. All right, so Dolphins.
Yeah.
Pick up Waddle instead of Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith. Yeah. Yeah.
Waddle gives them elite speed. Smith is fast, but he's just a better route runner. But Waddle gives them elite speed.
And that's exactly what they were missing was big play. They were last in the league in plays 20 yards and further down the league. And look at their receiving core. They were all Crowder was their number one receiver. So
and they're really trying to encourage Tua to go down the field underneath a lot.
Well, that's because he's a smart quarterback. He doesn't really make a whole lot of mistakes or try to force things. But when he does unleash it downfield, he has a really nice deep ball. So
Does, but those receivers that were there, Preston Williams and what's his face, they weren't separating. Parker
at all.
They weren't separating.
Now,
And I guess Devontae Parker at this point has lost any speed that he has because he's been so injured. So
100%. So now you bring in Waddle to do all that, right? So
Gesicki in the middle, who's
and Gesicki, you know, I'm a huge fan of his.
and they picked up a tight end.
Yeah. So now you can go 2 tight end set, which is you have you're bringing in the old Patriot ways. Brian Flores is importing more of the Patriot ways, the double tight end system, because if you can get 2 of them to work in unison, it's literally unstoppable.
Oh yeah, I know.
All right, so the Lions lucked out with Penny dropping to 7. We already talked about that.
What a gift.
Panthers, J.C. Horn with the 8 spot.
See, their offensive line was so terrible. That would have been the spot you picked Rashawn Slater, the other tackle, which he fell. I wanted the Giants to grab him. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily hate it because they had so many needs, and so to them they identified him as the best corner. But if you really talking about rebuilding this thing with Sam Darnold, you have to protect him, and then you have a running back who's gotten injured now a few different times. You definitely want to make sure that he's good. So I would have gone offensive line. I don't hate it because they also did need that, but they could have gotten a corner down the line.
I think they were targeting either Horde or Surtain, and they knew that both of them were going to be gone.
They knew they were going to be gone, but they could have still gotten value at the corner position later.
All right, so number 9, the Broncos. This, to me, tells me that they're all in on Aaron Rodgers.
They have to be. That's the only way that this makes sense, because otherwise this does not make sense.
And it's funny because once those 2 were gone, the Cowboys then moved back because that's the 2 guys. They wanted Surtain, so then they were able to move back, but they still got Micah Parsons.
And they knew that we wanted. Smith.
Yeah.
Them and the Eagles knew we wanted Smith, and they did not want that problem, especially with their weakened defense. We had the speed of Smith. They didn't want that problem.
Well, that's why I think that they brought up this new wave of GMs.
They colluded. Oh, they colluded.
Yeah, the younger guys have no problem doing shit like this.
Oh, they colluded. Ain't no damn question about it.
100%, and I'm all for it. All for it. Let's do this.
The 2 teams I hate the most.
Yeah.
And they colluded like a motherfucker. Hell yeah, they did.
I'm all for it because it's good storylines. It's hilarious.
Yeah. When they jumped us, I absolutely knew they were going to take Smith.
Yeah.
No question. No question.
All right, so the Eagles replace Deshaun Jackson with Devontae Smith. Makes sense.
It's a great pick.
Yeah.
I can't even hate.
He's like, good for these. Now, fuck you guys. Bears. Justin Fields moving up for Justin Fields. Huge move.
The winners.
All right, so this is. I don't know why everyone was so shocked about this on draft day because of what the package that they offered for Russell Wilson. That goes to show you they're definitely willing to make a swing for a quarterback. And with Justin Fields right there, why not? Why not? See, because you have to look. They had to jump the Patriots because the Patriots. You saw the Patriots' reaction to Mac Jones. They were like,
Yeah.
No excitement whatsoever.
Because if the Giants don't trade out of that pick, then Fields falls right to him.
Yeah, so
If we're talking Mac Jones in the second, maybe Minnesota grabs him in the second.
exactly, that would have been a good spot because he's very Kirk Cousins. So I think the Patriots' disappointment comes in their lack of not moving. Because I think in their thought, once the things played out, that they could have sat right there and had their pick.
They rolled the dice.
They rolled the dice and they lost on this one.
Lost on this one.
They did, and that's why people are like, "Oh, you see the Patriots' reaction?" Well, yeah,
I think they rolled the dice, saying to themselves, if a move is made and Fields is snapped up, we still have Jones.
Yeah, no, it was a calculated risk.
Consolation prize. So they were like, all right, we got the consolation.
I mean, and it's perfect. Literally, this guy's perfect for Josh McDaniels' base offense.
Yeah,
It's the only odd thing, Kerry, is that's literally not the offense that you have right now.
I know, which is weird. So he has to, be a quarterback coach for Cam, and then he also has the Matt Castle 2.0. So
Mac. Well, that's his name. We're gonna call it Mac Castle.
Matt Castle, that's it.
So the Cowgirls end up with Michael Parsons.
Uh-huh.
That's good. They also, along with Sean Lee, Van Der Esch, they did not exercise his option, so they have gutted the inside. So this pick totally makes sense. I don't know if they had plans to do that, but once those two quarters were off the board, and then Michael Parsons was the best player available, and this time we need to rebuild the middle inside. I think the writing was on the wall for Van Der Esch.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean,
that's good for them.
People got to understand the NFL is set up with veteran minimums, so you accrue so many years in the league, they have to pay you a certain amount. So sometimes if you're injury plagued like Van Der Esch and you've been in the league for like 7 years, you're just too fucking expensive to keep.
Yeah.
So, makes sense. Chargers knocked it out of the park. Rashawn Slater, perfect.
I know. I was hoping he would still drop to us at 20, but nah.
Jets moved back into the first round, which we talked about somebody is going to do it, and they moved back in and get a guard, but the best guard in the draft, and start to shore up the offensive line, which they never did around Sam Darnold. This is hilarious. He probably has to hate every second of this shit.
He must, because they did none of this for him. So if Zach Wilson does have success, this is more for what the Jets did for him, and then what Sam Darnold did not do for them.
Yeah, you can't indict Sam Darnold on this. They did absolutely. It's very Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I'm not Derek, but David Carr, the older one.
Well,
very David Carr, where they did absolutely nothing to help this kid, and then you just ruined his career because he got sacked 87 times a season. Like,
he did get a ring, though. He did get a ring.
Yes, he did. So Patriots, Mac Jones falls to them. Whatever, consolation prize. We'll see how long that plays, or how well that plays out. The Cardinals have been very active in the off season on offense. So in the draft, they focused on defense. So they got this linebacker, Zaven Collins,
who, I'll be honest, I was hoping was going to still be there because he's the linebacker I wanted to Jesus.
Well, now you pair him up with Simmons, Isaiah Simmons.
Ooh, I know that's going to be vicious.
Along with a pretty potent combination outside, because now you have J.J. Watt on your team too. So their defense is looking pretty solid.
You got Jones coming, Chris Jones coming back. Yeah.
Pretty solid looking. Since Nice joined just randomly.
I know, it looped it.
Yeah, so it's perfect though, because that put us through half of the draft.
Yeah.
Of the first round anyway. So I'll end this one and send you another invite. We'll break down the rest of this nonsense, and then we'll talk about
the G's.
The G man. Nobody can say that like Chris Berman. Alright, so let me re-up the zoo. Shout out to Nice for stopping by. That was 1,000,000% unexpected. I can promise you that. Now, we'll see if we can get him to pop in for the second part. Yeah, the Chocolate City Bigums, man. But, we'll see how good Ryan Fitzpatrick, how well he does for them. Yo, Flea, who's Tyrod Taylor? Oh, Texans. Yeah, I gotta talk to Kerry about that. What's about to happen in Houston? The Tyrod Taylor butterfly effect is in is locked and loaded and ready to happen again. Especially if Deshaun Watson legal issues. Yo, so sleeper story of the draft. The Tyrod Taylor effect is in full swing. Deshaun Watson is going to not be able to play because of legal issues. Tyrod Taylor is going to start, and then all of a sudden, this kid from Stanford is going to get in and have it all fucking.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to have a fucking. He's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, because basically, the head coach at Stanford said that this guy reminds him of Andrew Luck. This Davis kid, but Davis was hurt. It's a big kid, strong arm. I've seen him play a couple games.
He's got Tyrod Taylor starting in front of him. He's about to be a superstar.
I told you that was the biggest free agency move, period. Tyrod Taylor going to the Texans. That's why every backup quarterback in the league was looking at the Texans.
Yep.
He knew they were going to get their shot. Yeah.
Well, hopefully for the Bills, Tyrod Taylor gets his shot in his lungs again, and then has to sit out, and then you get your chance to play. So, second half of the first round, Raiders. We shall call them Stretch Armstrong because they were reaching like a motherfucker for Alex Leatherwood right there.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with Darisaw was still on the board.
That's what I'm saying. It could be argued that Leatherwood wasn't even the best lineman on his own team.
Yeah.
Much less the ones left in the draft. That was, beyond the reach.
I think that Mayock and Gruden have this thing where they want to try to prove their draft genius.
Gruden has this thing called a 10 damn year contract. and an owner who loves him because he grew up with him. So, listen, don't hire your friends all the time. You got to be careful when you hire your friends.
Yo, this is like James Dolan and Isaiah Thomas.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not good business right now.
All right, so Miami gets in their second pick of the first round thanks to the Collins, and they pick up Jalen Phillips.
Great move.
Yeah.
He stays. You got the fan base right there. Stays right there in Miami. He's really gotten an opportunity to be the man on the defense because Gregory Rousseau sat out, and he produced. And so now he's going to be on a line with Christian Wilkinson. I mean, he's going to go back. He's going to go on a talented, not even just defensive line, defense, period.
Yeah, he's a very talented squad.
And who wouldn't want to play for Brian Flores? I mean,
yeah. Chocolate City Bigums. Jamin Davis in the first round at 19. It was kind of a surprise.
That was a surprise. They're another team that arguably could have went QB, could have made a move to get a QB, especially after the Dwayne Haskins fiasco.
I think they're going to go next year.
I think they're going to wait, yeah. They'll probably wait, too, for the QB out of North Carolina, Sam Howell, but he might be the first quarterback taken next year.
All right, the G-Men. Pick up Tony. It works.
I was tight because at that point I wanted an offensive lineman. I thought they had a chance to get Slater, but he got snapped up. I thought there was you had Darisaw still there. I thought they could have went that direction. But in thinking about it, in the moving back, picking up an extra first round pick, they could afford to go Tony to send a clear message to Danny Dum-Dums. This is the time. Your time is now. They Goonies his ass.
Well, also
we got the weapons, and now next year, if you don't
exactly,
we have enough draft capital to move up and ship your ass out.
100%. They have all the capital in the world next year to make a move if needed.
Twice to pick up picks. So yeah.
All right. The Colts.
But also, Tony's a gadget. He's a gadget dude. Like, you could do a lot of things with Tony. So it's going to be on Jason Garrett to see what he does.
I wouldn't be too hopeful in that. He's going to stand quiet, silently, and clap. The Colts pick up Quiddy Pay.
Great pickup.
Yeah,
I mean,
that guy's going to thrive. Plus, he's
he's gonna be a monster on that. He's gonna be a monster. That
Yeah.
defense is gonna be monstrous.
So, Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay set up a phone call as soon as they drafted him with Dwight Freeney and who was the other one?
Robert
Mathis.
Thank you.
Yeah, he had phone calls set up with those two to talk to this guy immediately. So he's gonna do well.
I know Irsay be gone off that, and he be popping them pills, but he's still smart.
Yeah, he's gonna have. You might look for defensive rookie of the year out of that kid.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I thought that was one of the best picks in the draft, right there. Best spot to go to.
All right.
Behind him, Malik Hooker behind that. Yeah, you get it.
Titans pick up Caleb Farley. Thought they might have went for receiver with Corey Davis being gone, but they picked that. They did that later.
Receiver, but I also was thinking, I was thinking like an edge rusher or a linebacker.
Yeah, they have some holes. The Vikings pick up Darrisaw. That's a good pick for them.
That is actually a very good pick for them.
Yeah, Najee Harris with Pittsburgh. We already talked about that. Whatever. The Jags moving up to get Etienne. We'd already discussed this at length. So the Browns, Greg Newsome II, loaded secondary now. It makes sense because of how injured their secondary was last season.
Yeah. Yeah. What a pickup! This is huge. They're all in.
Yeah.
That GM is a savage.
Yeah, he's
killing it.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job.
I mean, if they win the chip, he's going to be GM of the year.
Yeah, easy. Ravens, Rashad Bateman, good pickup. He can play.
And I kind of wanted him when he was still there. I mean, Tony gives you a few things because he's a returner also. But I tell you, this kid Bateman, I've been watching him, and I've been talking about him a lot.
Yeah, he can play. I was watching some film.
I really would have liked him to be on the G, so I'm gonna be definitely watching his career. I think he's
the only downfall for him is he's going to the worst passing team in the NFL.
I know, but he's still gonna be one of my guys.
So, Bateman, what's your blocking skill set like? Because it's going to matter. Yeah. Peyton Turner, Cougs, the Saints. We already discussed that. Eric Stokes to the fucking Packers. What a
peculiar move. I mean, they did need a corner. I get it, but
I just always look at players that you could get it. You could get that guy later. You could have got him later.
Other value picks there for you.
Yeah. So plus their defense has so many holes to fill, and you need a real
Corey Linsley. You're not thinking O-line. Okay.
Yeah. You also need like another real receiver. I mean, Aaron Rodgers does.
On the other side, there were plenty left.
I mean, yeah, Lazard and MVS might get in the end zone every once in a while, but that's because Aaron Rodgers is so fucking dope, man. I don't think they would be doing that for any other team in the NFL. Right. Gregory Rousseau, your guy, ends up with Buffalo. Good pickup for them. Their defensive line needs help.
Yep, really good pickup for them. Yep.
Ravens move back into the first round and get outside linebacker Uwe from Penn State.
Yeah, his name has been popping up a lot. I've seen some tape on him. Hard hitter, smart. So not a bad. I mean, and this is what they do. So
Bucks pick up a lot. Whatever. Who cares what they do? Who cares?
Who was the kid's name?
Tyrod. Joe Tyrod or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, you better call Joe Tyrod.
Yeah, they dude it.
All right, so we won't go pick by pick. We'll just go with the standouts. Elijah Moore ends up with the Jets. They're helping Zach Wilson out all they can.
Great pick for them.
Yes, Christian Barmore. Pats move up into the second and pick him up.
Yep, because they knew. So now they were like, we can't risk this one.
No, because it blew my mind that he lasted. Yeah, it blew my mind that he lasted that long. It completely blew my mind.
Well, yeah, off the field issues I think was the biggest thing for him.
It was, but you're going to the Patriots. You got the hoodie.
But that's
All right, so my favorite lineman in the draft goes next. Tevin Jenkins, the tackle from Oklahoma State.
I saw that. I made note of that. Yeah.
So the Bears making moves. Yeah, exactly. Is that Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, or they're coaching for their germs. They're GMing for their germs right now.
Yeah.
Because if they don't improve, they're gone. That whole money making Mitch debacle sealed their fate.
But you moved all the way up, and that's the quarterback you chose. I was like, what?
With those two behind, you had Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes behind him.
To be honest, the only reason why he made the Pro Bowl is because players was injured, and then the ones were in the playoffs. So he was like sixth, seventh.
Yeah, that he just. I mean, how could you take that guy over Deshaun Watson, who, of all that tape you watched of Watson just excelling for years, clutch moments excelling.
And if Watson is in Chicago, is he catching all these cases? I've been to Chicago. I've been to Houston. No knock, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, whole different world.
Yeah.
Oh man, what an idiot. All right, let's see who else is some. Raiders pick up another safety. Trevin Moring, top safety in the draft, though.
Safety in the draft out of TCU, hitter. I mean, he covers a lot of ground, but that is just.
Chargers, Asante Samuel Jr.
Another great pick. I was hoping the G's could grab him. Yeah.
Yeah, no. See, they nailed it up. Cardinals. What's his name? Rondale Moore, the wide receiver from Purdue.
Yes, that's the one you were talking about. Yeah, you like that kid. Fast.
So that goes to show you that's pretty much sealing the fate of one Larry Fitzgerald, pretty much, because now you got this guy.
And when they did that, I thought
he's probably going to end up retiring. He'll probably just retire.
I think. Well, they weren't going to ask him to retire. So what they were going to do, they were going to pick up wide receiver free agents and AJ Green, and then they were going to draft the shit out of that position. So it's pretty much like Larry.
I mean, you're like the third greatest wide receiver who's ever played this game. So
absolutely, yeah.
Good.
They're not going to say the words to him, but
I mean, Larry. I mean, come on, you're not big enough to be a tight end, and tight ends now are faster than you. So
absolutely, but I mean, he might try to be an offensive guard, knowing him. You know what I'm saying? He would try to do that.
He would excel at it too. That's the thing.
But you know what? He could just stay around and kick it, end up being the GM, and ended up owning the damn team.
Yeah, he does want ownership. That is.
He can end up being one of the owners of the team.
He's so embedded into the city too, so it'll happen. You guys pick up Aziz.
Love that. I wanted him. His tape is great. He's just like one of those guys who you just don't want to run into in a dark alley, especially when you have something at stake. So Browns
are able to finagle Owusu.
Yeah, which he's a hitter.
Good for them.
Hardest hitter in the damn.
Terrence Marshall Jr., your guy, ends up with the Panthers.
I love that guy. I actually love that pick for them.
Yeah, we texted about that. They needed Curtis Samuel's not there anymore. They needed to replace that guy. So
big, you know what he is.
Big.
Yeah, great route runner.
Kyle Trask to Tampa. We already talked about that. Perfect pick. Good for you, guy. All right, third round. Kellen Mond, your guy.
Yeah.
Your guy, and then Davis Mills, back-to-back quarterbacks picked.
Going on that run, yeah.
Well, I mean, typically first-round quarterbacks all flame out anyway. It's second, third, fourth-round quarterbacks that end up having the longest careers anyway. So, let's see. Who else we got? Anybody of note? Wow, this is a whole round of... Tommy Tremble, the tight end from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He went to Carolina.
They had two guys at Notre Dame. Yeah. I thought that and Carolina, especially, they had that long run with Greg Olsen. So, they're about trying to get that tight end position, especially for a young quarterback in Darnold. We all know young QBs need their tight ends. Even though Trevor was more of a blocking tight end,
Yeah.
but he can't make plays. He's a little bit raw on the receiving end.
I'd
but-
look for him to have sneak in a couple touchdowns.
Yeah,
as-
he's a big dude, but he's definitely going to be there to help the run game because he's a savage blocker.
All right, so the Packers bring in one A. Rodgers to replace another A. Rodgers, apparently.
Which I thought was the biggest fuck you to Aaron Rodgers yet. You're going to get this dude. And Amari Rodgers is dope.
All right,
got a
so
great
Kerry,
player.
this is where the draft really was blowing my mind, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Wyatt Davis goes to the Vikings as the 86th pick.
Right.
Wyatt Davis was a two-time first-team All-American
Right.
and Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year,
Correct.
and he was the 86th fucking pick. What?
No.
I mean, it's shit like that. It happened. You just kept seeing first team All American, two-time first team, Pac-10 or whatever, and they're like in the fourth round. I was blowing my mind, the talent.
Let you know how difficult it is to make it to the league.
Yeah,
When you have guys with this caliber, with these accolades, sliding all the way down, barely getting in themselves.
you have to look at that. All right, so there's 22 positions on a team.
Mhm.
24 if you want to count the long snapper, the kicker. I guess you'd say 25 with the punter.
So with special teamers, so
22, essentially. 22.
22 starters.
Essentially, right? This guy is two-time first-team All-American, so that means 2 years in a row he was the best player in the country at his position,
Sure.
and he lasted until the middle of the third round.
Yep.
Absolutely stunning. Trey Sermon, running back.
Like that kid.
Yeah.
And I laughed when San Francisco picked him up. San Francisco's going to have a full, 12-man stable of running backs. They are never going to run out of running backs. And they get that. You see the kind of running backs they get. Quick, but strong and tough.
Yeah.
That guy is a mule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Anthony Schwartz from Auburn, wide receiver who I kind of was interested in, but going to Cleveland was an interesting pick for them considering how loaded their receiving room is.
Right, but we're also talking about a kid who went to the Olympic Juniors and set a world record for the 100, and he ran just recently a 10-point,
That's what I'm saying. That's why I like this kid. So you're looking at special teamer.
possibly, but also you better believe he's going to get on that outside and it's going to go route.
Well, I mean, all right, so let's look at their team real quick. You've got Rashard Higgins, who is the third down receiver. Oddly enough, he was the third down receiver somehow. Jarvis Landry, who's the number one. He's like Anquan Bolden at this point. Number one possessions and touchdowns. Then you go and bring Odell Beckham back, who's your big play guy, but he's not a blow the top off the defense guy. He's
Right.
just big. He just creates big plays out of himself, right? And then now you bring in this kid to
Who can rip the roof off.
I mean-
rip the roof off.
absolutely burn. I
Yeah.
talked about him.
There's speed, there's football speed, and there's just real speed.
Yeah.
But the Olympic speed is different.
Yeah, that's, so you guys that don't know about that, it's
So I've run track long time, and I'm telling you, when you are on the track with someone who has made an Olympics, and you're running, the sound of their foot hitting the pavement sounds different.
yeah.
Sounds different. So, yeah, you just can't compare those speeds because DK Metcalf wants to try to do the 100-meter dash now. This is different, baby. And you can chase down safeties all you want. That was great. That was, that was my favorite play all last year. But when you step on the track, that's different.
All right, so I was going to talk about this when we got to Seattle because they only had 3 picks, so we didn't get to talk about them yet.
I know. Yeah.
My theory on this is he is trying to improve because his improvement from year 1 to 2 was astronomical.
Sure.
I think he's trying to improve himself off the line.
Yeah.
And that's the sole purpose of this.
But you know what? It's great still.
It is because he's really big, so
Yeah.
for him to get off the line, he can't really get down in that. So I think he's trying to that's my theory on it because we know.
Trying to get his Usain Bolt on.
Carrie, we know he's not going to. Come on, these guys are running like 9.7s and shit. Like,
Full time, you're running every day, multiple times. Like,
and there's a reason outside of Usain Bolt, who was the anomaly, that 100-meter sprinters are usually short because you got to be able to get out of those blocks and those first 10 steps. You got to get out.
Exactly.
It's only 100 meters. You have to be able to get up to full speed quickly. Usain was different because his legs turned over at the same rate as the little guys, and he was 6'5".
And his stride is ridiculous.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense. But Justin Gatlin, the dude, he's like He's like 5'6".
Yeah. Well, 5'7", yeah. But
These guys are small, dude. They're like my size.
yeah, they're shorty 140s. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why in the 4x1 I always was the first guy.
And see, I was always anchor.
Yeah, I was always first so I can get out quick. Pew, gone.
Yeah, starting wasn't my thing, but I could finish.
All right, so who else? All right, nobody of note, just a bunch of role players and whatnot. Let's go to the 4th round.
Because then the Texans ended up getting some picks, too.
The Lions.
Oh, yeah, they picked up,
St. Brown. I like
Yes.
this kid.
yes. Yeah, when he got picked, I thought of you, yes.
Yeah, I like this kid. He's
Yeah.
he's not fast. He's not big. He's one of those guys that just makes football plays.
Yeah, he's tough.
Contested catches. He's always he runs proper routes. He gets open. He understands the intricacies of playing wide receiver. I liked him.
This is definitely a Dan Campbell type pick and also a City type pick. He's good in Detroit. Like, he's good. That makes sense.
Jabril Cox. I'm surprised he lasted all the way to 115 to the Cowboys.
So am I. And actually, I was hoping that we would have a shot at him, that the G's would have a shot at him, because I like that kid a lot.
All right, so being that I'm a B-level LSU fan, I watched him play, and it's just like, yeah, this kid's all over the fucking place. I did not know that he had played at North Dakota previously, and had won 2 national titles there already, and was the dude on their team. Like, so he just stepped up and performed at the highest level of college football.
Absolutely.
At the highest level. So
Yeah.
I really like this guy once I found that stuff out.
I wanted him. Yeah.
So, that's them. That's another reason for them to be like, Ari Vander Esch, you can go. We loaded up on linebacker.
Already on the ball. And they got so what Dallas did was they got faster in the middle. They got faster and actually tougher.
Patriots pick up the running back from Oklahoma, which I thought was interesting because the running back from Oklahoma State, Chuba Hubbard, was still there.
I know.
And I've never even heard of this Ramondre Stevenson kid.
Oh, I've watched him play. He's a load.
Well, that makes sense then because they already have every other type of running back in there.
So he's going to be their blunt type player.
All right, that makes sense. Now that makes sense. I've never seen him play. I don't even know this kid.
Because I watched, Spencer Rattler. Just seeing what he got going, but he's a load.
Yeah, Chuba ended up going to the Panthers, who.
Yeah, they definitely needed a quality backup.
Yeah.
Who could step in as a starter because they lost Mike Davis.
Yeah, Ian Book going to the Saints at 133.
I thought I liked it. It's a great value pick for them.
Yeah.
I like it. And he's with Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Sean Payton's and Ian Book is a runner, and he can pass. He's a gamer. So that's great. It's a great fit.
Coach's son, first one in, last one out type of guy.
You already know. He literally is, too.
Literally, yeah, I know. That's why it's so funny when you say shit, because there's so many of them that are that guy.
And he literally fits that whole description of that. Yeah.
My guy, Tony Fields, linebacker, ends up with Cleveland.
Yeah, yeah, out of WVU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had one other draft eligible or worthy guy who ended up not being there. He's a D lineman named Darius Stills.
Okay.
That kid can play.
Okay.
He will get picked up by somebody as a free agent. I would be interested to see because when I saw his name in the list, I was just like, oh shit, yeah, no, that kid can play.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tony Fields ends up in Cleveland on a absolutely loaded defense. So good for him. It's going to be Cleveland and the Chargers that I watch this year. I will be watching Tampa Bay because of their pursuit for perfection. So it's like, can they really do it?
Because Tom is still mad that he didn't get it that other time. He's still thinking about that.
Of course he is. And now it's 17 games.
Yep.
I'm going to go undefeated in 17, bitches.
You could win up.
So if you go undefeated for the full, it's 20. You'd be 20-0 for the year. That's incredible.
That would be. I know that's unheard of. I know.
In the NFL, dude, that's impossible. That's fucking impossible. It's impossible to have your team be healthy enough to do that.
I'll say this. With that roster that they have in Tampa Bay, if there's a team that could do it,
It's them.
it's them. And I haven't seen another team right now in this current format and the way the game is now that can do that.
I haven't seen it. The last team that was even, there's been two teams in our fandom that had a shot. The Patriots, and they knew that they could go undefeated. It was the goal. Let's go undefeated this year. Plus, there was the whole scandal thing, and they wanted to put up 70 on every team on purpose, and they pretty much did until the Super Bowl. And that Colts team that went 14-2 and lost to the Saints in the Super Bowl because they could have gone undefeated. They chose to lose the last two.
Which made me mad.
See, it didn't make me mad. Football karma got them because they didn't win the Super Bowl. That's what you get.
But what I'm saying, it made me mad that they didn't try to go perfect.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they get. That's what you get.
That's what you get. I know, because they were trying to be saved and all that. Man, go for history.
So Pat McAfee was actually on that team, and he talks about it all the time. And he said it today on the show. He was just like, "Trust me, the players were not happy about this decision at all."
Yeah, good, because they want to go for history. I didn't like it either.
And honestly, they could have easily done it. They were the best team in football. They were blowing everyone out. Their offense was unstoppable.
Peyton was clicking.
And honestly, if you go undefeated, they're going to win that Super Bowl.
Hell yeah, because it's different. Because now you have the psyche, you have the minds of the
Yeah.
other team already.
It was different. So those are the only teams, but the Patriots are the only. And again, it's Tom Brady doing it again. This is the second time I've ever seen a team going into the season that's just like, yeah, we're going to try to go undefeated this year. That's the goal.
That's great.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, and it's a sad one though, when a team is losing every game. It is a piece of you, especially as a former player, that feels bad because you never want. Everyone deserves to win one game. But just as a fan and watching it, you're like, is this going to happen? Because it's rare that a team can't win one game. And then this team almost gave us 2 back-to-back donut seasons. And then the Lions that is the saddest I ever felt for the player. Calvin Johnson, that's the saddest I ever felt for a player.
Yeah.
Who outside of an injury. Because there's no way a player of his caliber should be on a team that goes 0 for the season. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, it's absolutely atrocious. But the Bucks have a shot.
They do.
And they have the roster. And they have the one guy that's leading their team that does not get Super Bowl hangover at all.
Also, he's in a division where he no longer has to face a Drew Brees. And so who would he face? Maybe Crab Legs, Winston.
Oh, that defense is going to destroy him.
Matty Ice Cream,
Destruction.
who's been melting for a long time. And let's see.
Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. He said Dart old. He is Dart old. He's the oldest 22-year-old quarterback in the NFL history, yo.
Yeah. So it's like out the gate. That's 6 wins already.
All right, so this is another pick. 160. Shaun Wade, quarterback, goes to the Ravens. Shaun Wade was fucking first team All American and a Big Ten defensive secondary player of the year 2-time. How does this guy last all the way to 160?
Crazy.
And he has the pedigree of playing at Ohio State.
And look at where he went.
That's what I'm saying,
The team that drafted him,
dude.
that's their kind of pick, though.
But I'm just saying, I was watching like the information on each player, just like completely blown away. Like, oh my god, it's so hard to make it now because now you've got Division FBS and Division 2 and Division 3 All-Americans getting drafted, which are taking spots from, the usual players. So it's like, it's fucking hard, man. It's impossible.
You know what? Now that there's a push for some of these highly touted black football players to go to HBCUs, it's going to be hard to ignore them.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just talk about it real quick. Back in the day when black players really wasn't getting recruited by a whole lot of schools and we had these HBCUs, you had all that talent in the HBCUs and the league was like, well, damn, this kid is really good. I'm going to get him. I don't give a shit where he played, because that's where the talent was. It wasn't until it opened up and then players could then go to these traditional quote unquote schools that they had all this influx of talent, killing the HBCU until Steve McNair. But Steve McNair was putting up video game numbers, and that was the way he was going to get noticed, because, as we always say, black folks, we got to do things twice as better to even get noticed. And that's what Steve McNair did. And then you see where he got drafted, and Steve McNair was a baller, but then he also had to share the MVP with who? Peyton Manning. Like, he couldn't even get that by himself, even though he was crushing the league.
Yeah.
He crushed it everywhere he went. They moved the Oilers from Houston to Tennessee, made them the Titans, took them to the Super Bowl, almost won that thing against the greatest show on turf.
1 yard away.
Then he went to Baltimore, and then he was balling with them. He had some injuries. He was a tough-ass dude, and they questioned if he could play quarterback, and was one of the best quarterbacks during his entire run in the league. And everybody wanted to play with him.
I always thought he was just like our generation's, like the next generation's Warren Moon.
You know what I'm saying? But who could run?
Yeah. Sam Ellinger gets picked up by the Colts.
Actually, great move.
Yeah.
That's another quarterback who can run, smart. He could sling.
Football guy. It's a football guy right there.
Football guy.
Yeah, 100%. So, speaking of, first pick in the 7th round was a Division 2 player from Charleston, West Virginia. And I saw that. I was just like, and it's a wide receiver too. I was just like, oh, 6'5", 226.
Jesus.
Woo.
That's like Alan Lazard. So, and Alan Lazard for Green Bay is mostly a blocker, but he's huge. So, that's
his pre-draft analysis says he has the top end speed also. So, wow.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Interesting. We'll have to.
He's more than just a red zone threat.
And he went to the Colts too. So.
Yeah, we got wins.
Yeah, Michael Pittman. You might lose your job.
Yeah. Hell nah.
6'5", 226 with top end speed though. Ooh.
I mean, so then you have him and Pittman on either side. Get busy. Put T.Y. in the slot.
That's a big fucking dude. How the hell did he end up at Charleston, West Virginia?
Maybe grades. Maybe
WVU would have fixed that. How did he not end up at least at WVU?
Mm-hmm.
Really, really odd. So, Mr. Irrelevant was
out of U of H.
Cougs. Yeah, high motor guy, outside linebacker, perfect for.
Hair is on fire, guy, like long fluffy hair. He's gonna be a special team guy, and he's gonna be one for years, and that's how he's gonna make his bones. And he's going to have a career in the league.
Yeah, good for him because he lands with Bruce Arian, who will let him keep his hair.
Absolutely.
100%. Yep. So, whole host of undrafted free agents. I'm not even going to go through the list, but the most interesting to me was Warren G's, was it grandson or his son? Or I don't know. Somebody related to Warren G is now got picked up, and
Is he gonna be just as scary as his grandfather, whatever he is?
yeah, I don't know, but I was just like, oh shit,
Now,
'cause-
if you would have said Nate Dogg, I'd have been like, oh, all right, he's tough. Warren G was scared.
yeah.
Can't believe it's happening to me. Come on, man. If he had wings, he would fly.
I just think it's hilarious. You see all these juniors get drafted, and then you see people like Warren G's son get drafted or whatever, or in the league. I'm just like, damn, man.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
Asante Samuel Jr. I remember Asante Samuel's entire career.
I know. This is where the conversation goes. In the back of my time,
His whole career, Kerry.
yeah.
Entire career.
Listen, there's players in the league right now that were not even thought of while we've been around.
This guy cost us the Super Bowl. He didn't cost us the Super Bowl, but he could have sealed one up if he had just fucking caught the goddamn ball.
Okay, but this guy had a hell of a career.
Yeah, nah. You talk about a route jumper.
Yeah. I mean, he was a gambler, no doubt, but most oftentimes his gambles paid off.
I mean, if you're allowed to be a gambler and you're playing for the hoodie at quarter, then you must be really good.
He was a high-level stockbroker.
Yes. And boy, did he lose.
Quite a few times.
Yeah, he lost a big one. All right, so let's talk about the G-men. Danny Dum Dum. This is the make it break it year for him at quarterback, obviously.
Hold on 1 second then. Hold on.
He's like, I gotta change my shirt. I know
Yeah, we
it.
can't talk about the season.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Hell no.
He said, I am not wearing this while talking about the G-men.
Nah, baby. Hell no. You do that.
That is hilarious.
Blasphemous. Not gonna rock no other team. All right. Now we can talk G's.
So it's
Let's get it.
let's talk about the G's. Tom Brady said that he would trade 2 Super Bowl rings for a perfect season.
Heard that.
Tom Brady's about the only one who could say that because he's got 6 other ones. So whatever.
Damn. I know. That wasn't that big of a sacrifice.
Yeah.
I get it.
He gets to pick which 2. He's gonna be like, let's see. That one wasn't that much fun. That's.
Well, I know he wouldn't trade in that Panthers one that he played in H-Town. That was Nipplegate with Janet. So he wouldn't trade that in.
You're definitely not giving up the Atlanta win because that's
I know.
it's the most remarkable of games of all time.
That one in H-Town was dope, though. I mean, you have Muhsin Muhammad.
No, that was football wise. That was a really, really, really good Super Bowl, and the first half was so goddamn boring too. It just
I know. It was you had Del Homey, quarterback, getting busy. It was all second half stuff.
yeah, talking shit too, throwing those long touchdowns to Musa Muhammad.
Killing Moose was killing y'all in the second half. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, but Tom is Tom, and Adam Vinatieri is Adam Vinatieri.
And that's what they did. He was winning all them shits.
Yeah, I remember who and what I was doing during that Super Bowl.
Who and what? Okay.
Yes. All right. Danny Dum Dum, quarterback coming back, make or break year, obviously.
Obviously. Listen, you're getting Saquon back. You picked up Kenny Galladay. You got Tony. Evan Ingram, you have to believe this is also his make it break it year because
You also have Slayton, who was a surprise,
I know.
and Shepard. So,
And Shepard.
loaded.
Yeah.
Very solid.
Uh,
You also get, like you said, Saquon back, but you also have Gallman.
did we re-sign him yet though?
I
I hope he didn't. He hasn't gotten picked up.
It would be absolutely stupid if they don't keep that guy.
Yeah.
Nah, you guys did not pick him back up. So your backup right now is Devontae Booker.
Right. That's right.
Oh, you got Mike. You got Stretch Armstrong is your backup quarterback. Hilarious. Mike Glennon.
I know.
And then your third quarterback is Clayton Thorson.
I know.
Oh, you know he's racist.
You know what I just thought about when you said Clayton Thorson? You know what I thought about? That Chappelle sketch.
Yeah, of course. As soon as I saw the word Clayton, I'm like,
I know.
you know he don't like black people. You can tell. Let's see. Yeah, wide receivers are loaded. Galladay, Tony, Shepard. You guys picked up John Ross also, so you got a burner.
But John Ross is always on the sidelines.
But you also picked up Dante Pettis.
We did. Well, we did that last year also.
Yeah.
He actually came in and played decently.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
I like him.
Yeah,
I like him. Darius Slayton. Yeah.
I like him.
Oh, you guys got Davis Sills. I had no idea.
Yeah.
He's still on the roster. Good for him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Evan Ingram somehow was a Pro Bowler. We don't fucking understand that shit. Offensive line.
Step it up this year. So the offensive line. So now this is, their second year all together.
I'm surprised Nate Solder's still in the league.
So am I. We lost Zeitler, Kevin Zeitler at guard, but which is why I wanted to just go earlier. Slater was there, Darisaw was there, but they do have the benefit of this being their second year, also going through that rotational system that Joe Judge had, so every lineman got to play. So whereas Matt Pert was backing up Andrew Thomas at left tackle, now he's at right tackle as a starter. And you got to believe that Andrew Thomas, for as terrible as a season that he had last year, is going to have a better season. And that just about every lineman that was picked after him at that spot had a way better year than he did. So if you have any competitive fire spirit in you at all, you are not going to allow that to happen because you were the first lineman drafted that year. So
yeah. You do not have a backup center at all, so I would look for you guys to add somebody.
Which is why I was hoping we could have got Dickerson out of Alabama, but, that did not happen.
All right, defense. Defensive front, pretty solid. Dexter Lawrence, Danny Shelton. Leonard Williams is injured, though.
But he'll be back.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but that's an injury.
Yeah.
It's good that it happened now, get it taken care of. Plus, if it happens at this point, this early in your career, it's also good to get that shit out of the way because at this point in sports medicine, at an injury like that, you actually come back better.
Yeah. So now potentially we could have Lorenzo Carter on one end and Ojolari coming off the edge of both because they both have speed coming off the ends. We still got Blake Martinez, who is a tackling machine.
Well, you got Blake Martinez, Reggie Ragland, who is very fast.
Reggie was speed wasn't his thing, but he's a thumper.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking of the wrong person.
He's an Alabama guy.
Yeah, he's the big dude.
Yeah, he's the big dude. Yeah.
All right, you just picked up Aziz.
Mm-hmm.
You also have Tay Crowder as a rotational linebacker. So
Tay Crowder makes plays.
Yes, he does.
He has made plays. I like Tay Crowder a lot.
All right, so your secondary, pretty solid. Bradbury, very good. Jabril Peppers, we know we love this guy.
Stepping up each year.
Logan Ryan, come on, just Patriots pedigree.
Absolutely.
He's also moved from corner to safety at this point in his career, which makes sense because he was always a cerebral player anyway. And then Adoree Jackson.
Love that guy. Can return kicks, punts, the whole nine.
Solid secondary. You guys had a sneaky good defense last year anyway.
Xavier, don't forget Xavier McKinley.
Yes.
Who came out of Alabama but was hurt most of last year. He's going to be back.
So you're looking at he'll probably play in the slot.
And the rookie we picked up this year, Aaron Robinson, who was originally played for Alabama, then he went to UCF and got busy. We picked him up. He's definitely going to get some time. This guy's good.
You guys also have Montre Hartage on your roster. I remember that name.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Jabril Peppers still returning kicks. I like it. Use him for what he's good at.
Absolutely. But we have a couple of guys now. We got Adoree Jackson.
Dante Pettis.
Tony can do it.
Oh, yeah, now you got Tony. So that
Yeah.
means Darius Slayton, who he won't need to do that anymore.
Play receiver. Yeah. And he actually now has Kenny Galladay on the other side, and he has Tony, so he could be that number 2 who just gets busy.
Yeah, so, all right.
You put Slayton on a number 2 guy, he was getting busy on number 1s. You put him on a number 2 guy, he's going to eat.
Who
And now
that?
Saquon, we just have to see what Saquon looks back coming off this major knee injury. Hopefully, he'll be like a Jordan, like one of the young dynamo players who gets hurt early in the career.
That's what I said.
One major injury, but then come back and then be all right for the remainder.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that, especially at running back, all right, somebody that's got such a workload on their body, no matter at what level they played at, to get an injury that looks like it might have been a load injury out of the way early, you know?
But also, he's not gonna. You have these other players now who, get to share the load. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that you guys are also going to be very cognizant of, like, all right, we can't kill this kid. We can't
There's no
fucking
way.
kill this kid.
Come on now.
So this is...
Gettleman drafted him and was like a Kramer. So if he is, you're gonna have to protect him. You know what I mean?
100%. So it all comes down to Danny Dum-Dum and his performance, along with how well the offensive line does perform. Now, you guys do have the benefit of playing in the worst division in football. It always helps. You can guarantee that the Cowboys are going to go 8-1, guaranteed. They're going 500. All right, so the Chocolate City Bigums, look for them to have a run early and then fade in the end like Ryan Fitzpatrick always does as a starting quarterback. The defense is going to be incredible, though. Their defense is loaded. That defensive front's incredible.
That defense is what not only kept us in games, but won us a few games. But I mean, you look at it; they were 6-10. That record could have easily been flipped to 10-6. They were in games.
All right, so who's the other team in your division?
Philly, Dallas.
Oh, Philly. So Philly, well, you're looking at what is a full year of Jalen Hurts going to look like, because if you look at the starting record of Jalen Hurts, it wasn't stellar. He just played better than Carson Wentz. It was an improvement. The team didn't
I would
improve.
pick him up fantasy-wise as a backup quarterback.
Yeah. So looking at a pretty open division, pretty weak. So honestly,
Defense, still.
You
And
know-
they picked a couple of good guys in their draft. Philadelphia did this past year, especially at corner. They got a good corner they picked up. But
well, if you go on paper right now, the paper version of things, as it's set up right now, the Giants should win. You guys should win your division.
mhm.
On paper, everyone stays healthy. All things play out the way that they're supposed to. You guys should win this division.
Agree.
Now, does it matter? Not really, because the top end of the NFL is so far superior beyond just even the second level. We've discussed it. It's the NBA all over again. There are really about 4 teams that actually have a shot, and that's before the season even started.
Yeah.
We haven't even got to see if there's injuries, because I don't care how good Tampa's roster is. Tom Brady gets injured and blows his knee out again. They're not winning another Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
The only Ryan Fitzpatrick's already going to be the starter in Washington. You can't bring him off the streets and have him play.
Oh yeah, Blaine Gabbert.
Did you hear the words that just came out of your mouth?
I'm just saying, that's the backup.
No, you got Kyle Trask now. I'd put that kid in before I put in Blaine Gabbert.
All right, fair. I'm just saying what they have. That's it.
Yo, as hard as it is to get into the NFL, how the fuck Blaine Gabbert still got a job?
Cause he's 6'5", and he's been there for a while. He just, he's liked. You know how? Because he's liked. You don't get to stick around unless you're liked. Look at what's the other kid? Chase Daniels.
Yeah.
Chase Daniels has thrown how many under 100 professional passes in his football career. He's been in the league years.
Yeah.
10 years at this point?
It's double digits. He's made something like 20. 20,
done.
$30 million.
And he's played for 5, 6, 7 teams. And you know why he keeps getting picked up? Because he learns the offenses quickly, and he's liked. He's liked. They like him. He's a good guy. Good guy. Good guys get to last.
Yeah, you look at RG3, who
Yeah.
every time he leaves the team has to say something.
And so you know who they're making friends with. Those are the guys who are talking to the coaches constantly. These are coaches' guys. They're not going to rattle cages. If there's a curfew, they're going to be in 2 hours before it. That's how they keep their drib.
Keep their gerb, always there watching film. You
They're
know.
always watching film. Always trying to be coaches on the sideline. Hell yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So,
You know what my number one job in America is. Backup quarterback.
Chase Daniels.
That's it. Backup quarterback, best job in America. Point blank, period.
We should start giving out the Chase Daniels Award.
Word, we should.
The backup of the each year. We're going to start doing that, and we're going to call it the Chase Daniels Award.
You can't even do this with Ryan because Ryan always ends up a starter everywhere he goes. Like, he'll end up starting, so he doesn't count as a backup quarterback. Not to me. He's just a journeyman. But Chase Daniels, he's a backup. He's a backup. Hell yeah. So, yeah, we started giving out the Chase
We'll
Daniels.
give out the Chase Daniels Award.
Best backup of the year. Hell yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you might not even throw a single pass and still might win the Chase Daniels Award.
That's it. That's it.
Sometimes you might have to come in and save a team's playoff chances, though. Frank Reich,
And it happens. Frank Wright, yeah. That's
Hostetler.
I mean, that was the ultimate bullpen. Came in and won a chip. And you know my favorite, Earl Morrall. I mean, outside of Hostetler, he helped make those 72 Dolphins, undefeated. And then they put Bob Greasy's hurt ass in at the Super Bowl, and he gets the glory. But Earl Morrall won those games.
Yes, he did. Hostetler holds a special affinity in my heart because he's a West Virginia guy.
Virginia
He had one killer mustache.
did the West Virginian way.
Hilarious. So what's your win total projection next year for you guys?
It should be 10.
10? Do you think so?
Should be 10.
Well, remember there's 17 games now, so
It should be 10.
yeah, so you can leverage 10's not such an achievement now. It's
Should be 10. So 10 is because I'm thinking about the offensive line. I don't know what kind of Saquon I'm gonna get back, and you still got to work. You got these new players who were good where they were, but now we got to work them into this situation. And so we got to get the chemistry between, obviously, Danny Dum Dum, Galladay, Tony, who's showing up. Tony looks like he's ready to roll because
Yeah.
he's been like in there. He's been showing up quite a bit as I've been seeing it.
well, remember what I told you when you were disappointed at that pick. I said don't sleep on this because I think he probably got overshadowed by Pitts in that offense. So if he's that notable with that guy on the same team, he must be really fucking good.
It was nothing against Tony,
Yeah.
but it was more about the position.
I look at it the same way whenever the whole Watkins and Hopkins thing, whenever Hopkins got to Clemson, I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
so if Sammy Watkins is still there and now that guy's this guy must be really fucking good because Sammy Watkins was a first team All-American as a freshman.
But D Hop was different.
Different.
It's just different, yeah. Yeah, so also is Jason Garrett going to figure out how to employ these guys, especially someone like a Tony. So instead of having Evan Ingram going on fucking a million reverses a game, which is what he did, can we save that for Tony? Like, come on, figure it out, Garrett. You gotta use these guys. And look at what Danny does the best. RPOs. When he's an RPO quarterback, success. You know what I'm talking about. You know what it is. So
I could do his job.
yeah.
It's incredible.
It's easy. It's easy. You got. Come on, man.
It blew my. I mean, I know he had the Jerry Jones connection. The fact that this guy was a head coach with that lack of energy and command, you know that like the players just looked at him just like, man, if Jerry wasn't here, I'd slap the shit out of you right now, Jason Garrett.
You know what it is with Jason Garrett? Jason Garrett is like, you know who he is? He is who he's always been. He was a backup quarterback for a very long time in this league. So you know what that means? He was well liked. So other players always liked him. But did he command respect? Yeah, that's a little different story there. So he was trying to be who he's always been. Well liked in Dallas. Plus in Dallas, if your name's not Jerry Jones, it's hard to really have any sort of power. Bill Parcells got away with it the most. And obviously Jimmy Johnson before that. But other than that,
Yeah, but still, look what he did to Jimmy Johnson. You gotta go. You gotta go. It's my team.
And then Bill Parcells just got tired and was like, I gotta bounce. But look at their coach now. He's not running shit. He ain't doing. He's not that authority type figure. Because if you had a real coach on the side, I'm not saying that he's not a real coach, but I'm saying like a coach that they respected, then what happened to Red Rocket would have never happened. Period. Would never happen. Like as soon as he would have got hit dirty, those players would have been
All
scrapped.
right. So speaking of the Red Rocket himself, what's on his mind now that he gets to Chicago, gets the chance to be a starter. They tell him he's going to be the starter, and all of a sudden they draft Justin Fields.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what he's thinking. He said, well, the first time in my life I was a backup, I went to Dallas, and Dak broke his ankle. So maybe he's the reverse Tyrod. He goes to team, and the starter gets hurt, so now he gets to play.
He is the anti-Tyrod.
Reverse Tyrod. Yeah.
Oh, he's Taylor Tyrod.
Yeah.
Oh my, he looks like a Taylor too.
So.
That's his new name is Taylor Tyrod.
You got in this case, then you better hope Foles starts, and not Fields. Let's not mess Fields up.
Nick Foles is just he's sitting on the sideline checking his OnlyFans account.
When it's all said and done, he's going to have one of the strangest careers there is. He gets drafted by the Eagles, has one of the best games in NFL history, throws 7 touchdowns against the Chiefs. Loses his job, then gets shipped over to the Rams, and he's in a back and forth thing with Bradford, and Bradford can't stay healthy, so then he gets his an opportunity, but doesn't really do much with it. Gets punted from there. Somehow ends back in Philly when they have all-world Carson Wentz, who's on an MVP chase. He gets hurt by Foles' former team, the Rams. Foles gets back in and then takes him and wins the Super Bowl.
He gets a statue of himself outside the stadium and then loses his job.
Yeah, then loses his job to the mustache Minshew, to Uncle Rico in Jacksonville. Then he finally goes to Chicago. He's backing up money-making Mitch. He gets hurt. Foles gets in. It's looking a little bit better, and then he gets his hip destroyed, like an old man injury. So I don't even know. He comes back.
So question.
Might have another shot because he has Red Rocket in front of him, and then they draft Justin Fields.
So here's a question. Would you rather, we're going to play Would You Rather right now, would you rather have the career of Big Dick Nick Foles with that Super Bowl title and a statue, or Ryan Fitzpatrick, who might somehow, oddly enough, end up in the Hall of Fame?
You know what? It's so funny you say that because I don't know. He shouldn't, but I see what you're saying.
He shouldn't, but you cannot tell the story of the NFL without talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick,
who's touched over half the teams in this league. Yeah.
And essentially created a new position in football, the closer.
Yeah, the closer. Yeah.
And like you said, beloved by everyone also.
Of course, you just don't. Everyone loves this guy. Every single one.
Everybody, every football fan, every player, every coach.
Quarterback in this league, you have to be loved. That's how you get your shots continuously. or else you're selling insurance. No shade on that, but I mean, I'd rather be a backup quarterback. I don't know. Foles had one of the greatest games in NFL history. Then wins a chip coming out the bullpen. And then he gets a statue in all places, Philadelphia, who threw snowballs at Santa Claus. So, and who was thirsting for a Super Bowl because they never had one.
That's so Philadelphia there because they.
That's that Rocky shit.
Yeah,
So
they put up a statue of Rocky. They only put up statues of fictional characters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nick Foles isn't even real. He's an idea.
They put up a statue of Rocky, but
Joe Louis didn't get one.
Joe
He's
Louis.
from Philly.
the fighter in Philly, he was the Broad Street Brawler. So
You know what I mean? So they don't give Sid Luckman a statue, but they give one to Nick Foles.
Sid Luckman, who slung 7 TDs back in the 50s.
With 7, you only got 7 TDs in a season. Come on,
Yep.
man. I know my football.
Straight up. Yeah, I know. That's crazy. So,
I'm going with Ryan Fitzpatrick because in the annals of history, Ryan Fitzpatrick his name will ring longer in the NFL annals of history. Nick Foles, that moment in history, the Super Bowl was bigger than him. And he will eventually, even though that statue is there, eventually people are going to be like, yeah, it's a backup quarterback. How fucking funny is that?
But you know what, though? And I'll debate that because of the Philly special. And you know how Philly loves to name their things and who's the best sub, this one, that one. Hoagie, whatever.
You're probably right. There's probably a Philly special at every single cheesesteak place in Philly now.
You know there is. You know there is. And they put all the best shit on the Philly special because the Philly special helped them win their first Super Bowl of all time.
Oh, it's definitely got onions. It makes Tom Brady cry. I get it, all that shit.
So what I'm saying is, like, there's always going to be a space for Nick Foles.
Even though Tom Brady threw for 550 yards and no picks in that game.
No picks, no punts.
No picks,
Yeah.
no punts.
So you cannot also tell that story without tricky Nicky Foles. You can't do it.
Yeah, I think Nick Foles, his story in the NFL is kind of a similar vein to Eli Manning's place in history. Even though Eli's is much bigger because of starting quarterback and all that thing, I'm saying you look 100 years into the future, his place in history will be those 2 Super Bowls over top of the evil empire, right?
Also, he was a number 1 overall pick who brought home Super Bowls. Now, if we look at number 1 picks at quarterbacks and how many of them actually won a Super Bowl,
I'll give you that, but once the farther you go in future, the more the history gets condensed, right?
I mean, and then Eli is absolutely David, and Tom is Goliath, and so yes, it is absolutely the
And every single Super Bowl that Tom wins makes those victories over Tom even more ridiculous.
Of course.
Even
Yeah.
more. So you should, every time Tom gets into the Super Bowl and it's not against the G-Men, you should be rooting for Tom, son.
I have nothing against the Pats. You know what? The Pats have never done anything to me. We're good. We're good, baby.
But no, it's kind of a similar vein. If you look in a condensed history, it'll be like, because Foles did it too. He got the Super Bowl over top of the evil empire.
And they thought Matty Ice Cream was gonna do it.
Yeah.
But they-
Yeah, dude, I actually watched that Super Bowl again last week. It's retarded. It's absolutely retarded.
the memes at halftime had Eli Manning's jersey, but with Matty Ice Cream's face. And I was like, oh man, he's going to be the next one? I was like, I don't see it. I just didn't see it.
I'm telling you.
And I kept texting you that. I was like, nah, I'm not going to count Tom out yet. I'm just not going to do it.
Dude, I'm telling you, all right, the story will go down in my life history. My mom never called her kids, ever. She always thought, you're too busy, you can call me when you're free, right? She called me right before that Super Bowl. She knows how. Told you, even with my mom, she'd say bye, I'd say Tom Brady, right? She calls me and says, what's Tom going to do? And I called it. The Falcons are young. This is their first Super Bowl. They're really fast. They're going to get up early, maybe by 13 points, 15 max, right? And then they do a little. Chris Collinsworth does a little side story about how Tom Brady's mom hasn't been to a single game all year because of cancer issues, and this is her first game in person. I was just like, "There's no way. I don't care what happens. There's no way this guy is losing this game." And that was also, I'm gonna make Goodell fucking hand me this, or I'm gonna make him hand me this goddamn fucking trophy.
Yeah, 'cause
All
that's
of that shit going on,
Yeah, sure.
but the mom thing. Knowing Tom Brady's mentality, I was just like, and she was on the sideline with, the bonnet on with her going through chemo. You could clearly tell she's going through chemo. I was like, he's not losing. He's not losing.
And this, first of all, when he goes to Super Bowl, he's a Super Bowl fanatic. But now you add the added motivation of your mom's.
Yeah, so it didn't matter. Eve 28-3. P was watching the whole thing with me. I just kept looking at him saying, he's not losing this game. I don't care. And then when the momentum started, I just kept saying, you got to believe. You got to believe. And then, football momentum, you could see it. They literally put up this list. All right, all of these things have to happen for us in this order with this 8.5 minutes left in the third.
Both 2-point conversions.
We have to get a turnover sometime.
Edelman makes a ridiculous, one of the best Super Bowl catches in the history of the game.
Multiple sacks against the stupid going for passes on third down Falcons offense, getting them out of field goal position twice.
Running the rock,
So many things had to happen to make it, and you just saw it.
Yeah.
You just saw it. I'm like, all right, these things and it just started to happen. I'm just like, this.
So, having played the game, you know exactly what I'm about to say. The almighty Mo. Once the almighty Mo takes control, you know what's going to happen. Players know. The ones who are up and the ones who are down. And they can see it. They can feel it. And the ones that are up, they start to... Now they're second guessing everything. They're like, oh shit, it's happening. And there's nothing we could do about it.
Yeah, see, everyone's been through it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in the league. You've played enough football. It's happened to you before. So you recognize it. And then you also have to think... The herd mentality. You got 53 players on your roster, and they're all sitting there going, "Oh shit, here we fucking go."
If that, it spreads, and if one player doesn't make a play to try to switch that to snatch the almighty Mo back.
So it's funny. So I watched the Super Bowl from the Falcons' point of view was the video that I watched, and it was there mic'd up. It was Mohamed Sanu talking shit the entire time, and they go up. And this is the moment you knew they were going to lose, even 28-3. They score, and Mohamed Sanu says something. I forget who he was sitting beside. He says something about, we about to hang like 50 on him or whatever. And the guy says, yeah, but they got Tom Brady, bro. And I knew it from that. I'm just like, see, they know. They know.
No, and it's like this. It's like, and I told you about this game before when I got to see Aaron Rodgers play in person at MetLife Stadium. I'm there with my boy, and Eli drives the G's down, bang, he scored touchdown, and we're up. We're up by 2, but we're like celebrating like crazy. But we look at the scoreboard, and there's 58 seconds left. We look at each other simultaneously and say, "Damn, that's too much time." Because Aaron Rodgers is about to get the rock. And we're like, oh, shit. And so all he does is throws the most accurate passes I have ever seen a quarterback who's ever laced them up throw, ever. This one to Jermichael Finley, I'll never forget it ever in my life. It was on the sidelines. A linebacker was draped over him, and it was by the mere fingertips that this dude caught it out of bounds and spectacular catch. And then Jordy Nelson killed us down the sidelines. Field goal, game over. We won the Super Bowl that year. But that momentum, and that when you have that on the other sideline, which is why I will never forgive the Packers for not letting Aaron Rodgers go for it on 4th down.
So stupid.
It doesn't even make sense because you know who's on the other sideline.
All right, so you look at both of your Super Bowls over the Pats, right?
Yeah.
First one, we get the ball with like 240 something. I can't remember exactly. too much time. I already knew it. I'm like, we're going to score too fast. Everybody, you're a Giants fan, the whole football world said, oh, Tom Brady's about to go down and score. They left him too much time. I thought they left him way too much time. We go down and score quickly. As a football fan, I instantly knew we left him too much goddamn time. And then you get the helmet catch. And from that catch on, you know that there's no way in the world you're not winning that game, because immediately after the helmet catch, you get Asante Samuel on the goddamn sideline with the ifs. Yep.
Drops the pick.
And it's just like you knew. You just saw it happening. Oh, here we fucking go.
Corner in history for Ellis Hobbs.
One-on-one with Plaxico, who's like...
It was like 6'5".
So stupid. So stupid. So then...
Fun fact, that helmet catch by David Tyree, his
Last catch.
And then he wrote a children's book about it. And he's like, in the ministry now.
So the second one, same thing happens. We're having trouble scoring all game. Comes down to crunch time. We get the ball. Tom goes right down the field, scores. Looking at the time on the clock, I already knew. I said, oh, God damn it, there's too much time. It's going to happen again. And then the miracle pass happens. I'm like, here we fucking go. Here we go.
Which, that was one of the dopest passes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Put Biscuit in a basket between the safety, which was Patrick Chung, and the corner, who I forget the corner right now. But Patrick Chung was the safety coming over the top.
McCourty, I believe.
Oh. I don't think it was McCourty was still playing safety. No, it was another corner. But Chung was the safety. And then Manningham, who had a couple of drops, he had been struggling for a few weeks, and then he caught that one.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best throws I've ever seen.
Yeah, one best throws.
Especially given the gravity of the moment, because it was third down, too, backed up on like the fucking one.
Getting pressured, which say whatever you want about that dopey looking bastard, but Eli Manning was a gamer.
Well, honestly, with that one, whenever we got the ball last, not the last time with the Hail Mary to hurt Gronk, but that was the one that Wes Welker turned and missed on third. We had to fucking kick a field goal. Which gave you the opportunity to go down the field, because all we needed to do was get a first down and end the game.
When that happened, I said, oh shit, we're going to win this.
Yeah, you knew it. See, you knew it. Instantaneous.
Yeah.
I knew it too. I was just like, oh, that's it. And the whole sideline knew it too. Because that went from a guaranteed Super Bowl victory to, not happening now. They did it to us again, goddammit.
Had a great night that night. But yes, I get it. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? At this point, history has still proven that Tom is the GOAT. I mean, fucking a billion Super Bowls.
Can't deny that.
On top of the 3 fucking losses, you still have 6 rings. Like, get the fuck out of here. This is retarded.
I mean, I can't. There's no disputing he's the GOAT. Aaron Rodgers is the most I've seen. Now Mahomes is like. I mean, he has to do it. He has to maintain. But I mean, that guy.
They're different though. It's still different. Aaron Rodgers he's still unique.
He is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying that Mahomes is showing us a whole nother flavor to this thing. Because it's funny because he's Favre-esque in some things. He's Rodgers-esque in other things. So that's what I'm saying. He's a whole nother hybrid sort of a situation. Because
Aaron Rodgers is different. They've never seen anybody throw a football like that before.
I mean, he is literally the most accurate I've ever seen. Ever.
Dude, that throw, I know it. The one on the sidelines against the Cowboys, rolling out left, throwing it out of bounds on the move, low to the only spot that Finley could get to. Dude, that was shit like that. Shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's still the only one who can control the nose of the ball in any direction. He's like a golfer.
Yep. That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah. He really does it like he's still the only one I've ever seen that can get the ball's nose to dive towards a receiver in any direction. It's incredible. But
one of my boys asked me if how long this whole ordeal is going to take. It's going to be fast. I'm like, nah, it's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while. But, you know, the tragedy of Aaron Rodgers is how are you that goddamn talented and you only got one?
I know. He has more MVPs than he has but just like his predecessor. Favre had more MVPs. Then he had Super Bowl rings, and Favre could have easily had 3, definitely 2.
I can get it with Favre, though, because he was a gunslinger who would throw picks in big moments. You're talking about the most accurate quarterback who's ever played. Who plays it in big moments at the highest levels, makes everyone around him better.
Which begs the question, what the hell happened?
Exactly. How did you only get one?
And notice, when they actually had a defense and Charles Woodson was the Defensive Player of the Year, they won the chip against a very game Pittsburgh Steelers squad.
Yeah.
Green Bay wasn't favored that game. They were not favored. Pittsburgh was favored.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like Flea said, Marino got 0. So he got to the Super Bowl early in his career, then never made it back.
Never got back because he never had a running game.
Ever.
In the 80s, you most definitely had to have a running game.
And he didn't even have no knees, so he's only going to stand there and throw it.
Here's the analogy. So in the 80s, 90s, especially early, if you didn't have a center, you were out. So imagine the Warriors trying to play in the 80s and trying to shoot threes all day. It would have never happened. It would have never. You would not know this Warrior dynasty the way you know it now.
Plus, you're allowed to get beat up people back then, so they just grabbed Steph and just threw him into the third row.
That's what happened to Dan Marino. Dan Marino was a couple decades too early.
Yeah.
He went slinging around the lot, and he could do it. I mean, he was dominating with 2 Lilliputian receivers.
Dude, he was putting up 5,000 yards when other quarterbacks weren't putting up 3.
But barely putting up 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you had running backs and tight ends, and people blocked. They called you even a split end, not even a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Because you were expected to block, bitch.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was just he was in the wrong era for his main skill set. Because as you move forward, the Dolphins, when they got Bernie Parmalee, they actually then started making the playoffs consecutively. And you remember their quarterback then was
Jay Fiedler. Feely.
Yes, Feely. Yes. That's right. Who was like, I think the only Jewish quarterback in the league.
100%. 100%.
Parmalee was like, who's bringing the bagels?
Yeah.
They were dope though. They would get busy. But so it's like, Dan Marino, just Bernie Parmalee. If you'd have just gave him Bernie Parmalee, not Thomas, not Emmett, not any of those stuff, Ickey Woods, you know what I'm saying? Not Roger Craig, just Bernie Parmalee. He would have got to another one.
Yeah, but I look at Dan Marino as kind of like he is kind of like Aaron and Tom Brady, how they were just like, you know what, you're so good, we don't need to give you help. We're going to do other shit. We're going to spend it on defense or whatever. Tom Brady just ended up being successful at it because the system also complemented that. But Aaron Rodgers,
what Tom did with his contract.
Yeah, they never gave Aaron Rodgers help though, man.
Right. Tom gave up. That's that thing. Tom leveraged his money-making potential so that they could bring in free agents. So where they sucked in the draft, they were excellent in bringing in free agents.
This is very true.
They were excellent. And Tom helped him with his contract situation way more than every other quarterback in the league. So that was also very key to how the Patriots could continue to bring in primo talent to the team.
Yeah, 100%.
A big part of that whole Patriots.
Well, so then you look at Green Bay. They don't even, especially Ted Thompson never made free agent moves. So they were never going to improve the team through free agency. They just hope that they hit home runs on players like Jordy Nelson and shit like that,
And then too, we can argue that the greatest free agent pickup of all time is Reggie White, which is what Green Bay did. It changed the trajectory of their franchise for years to come.
And then they never did it again, it seemed like.
Yeah. That was it. It's like they did it once. And
Until Charles Woodson.
Until Charles Woodson, right.
And then they got another chip out of it.
Right. So now it's like, so is this what we're going to do? Because that's what Denver did with the quarterback situation. So we're just going to wait every 15 years, 15, 20 years to see if we can just get one of the best players that do it to just pop up on free agency.
All right,
and hope-
so say back in the Randy Moss Oakland days,
yeah, well, waste of years. I hate that for him.
or
This is-
even before then. Say when he wouldn't have gone from Minnesota to Green Bay, so would have had to have gone to Oakland first.
Well,
They wouldn't have gone interdivision. So say he goes from Oakland to Green Bay.
amazing. Those Green Bay fans who are pissed off and who are still pissed off that he mooned them would have gotten over it swiftly.
As soon as they would have won a title, because now you got fucking Randy Moss.
They wouldn't have even had to win the title yet. As soon as he signed, there would have not been a boo. Those boos would have ceased immediately. Stop it. Because Green Bay fans can be salty and they can hold a grudge, but they're not stupid. And they know that he would have been able to help them win a chip. So they would have embraced him immediately.
So who was playing quarterback when he made that move? Was Favre still quarterback there, or was it Aaron Rodgers? So imagine Favre with his "I'll just throw it up to anybody" with Randy fucking Moss on it. Like, yeah, here, go get that shit.
That's what he did with Sterling Sharp.
Yeah.
That's what he did with Andre Rison.
Imagine a Hall of Fame level Dante Culpepper. That's basically what Favre would have been. Here, go get this kid.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Antonio Freeman blew up with Favre. Look at Greg Jennings as long as he lasted. Look at Javon Walker, really, is who I want to say as long as he lasted.
Yeah.
He was the man, and then he disappeared.
Yep. Yeah, man. So if they did.
I mean, we could keep going on.
They just historically have never gone out and gotten any help.
Mhm.
So even on that front, how does
Also, when they got Desmond Howard, that was also a big get.
yeah? So
Damn end zone.
how you not end up with J.J. Watt when he's from there?
Big gap, huge gap.
You're a two back-to-back NFC title game. You need help on defense. This guy is from there. He wants to win titles, and he ends up in Arizona. How did this happen? See, this is what I'm saying. They got Chuck. That was the big one. Chuck was a big one during the Ted Thompson era.
He was huge. Yes. Yeah. He was huge, and he didn't want to go there because Green Bay is cold.
Yeah, you're right. He absolutely didn't even want to do that. So, well, it worked out for him, though.
The best draft, obviously, ended up being Clay Matthews, right?
Well, you go through. Yeah, well, you go through that list of wide receivers, though. But they, like you said, they're only relevant within Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look at that happened with the Patriots a lot. Players
Sure.
that would leave New England and it just
And then they just fall off. Yeah.
String of wide receivers, but yeah. Oh, man. Imagine being Aaron Rodgers in every draft for your entire career, every first round as a defensive player. Every single one. Every single one. You're just sitting there like, again.
Imagine being Aaron Rodgers and being envious of the receivers that the Chicago Bears have. The Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears had better receivers than the Green Bay Packers.
The only thing he's got Devontae, though. That's
I know, but I'm just saying, like, over his span, the Chicago Bears have had better receivers.
yeah.
Never a quarterback. Their best quarterback was Jim McMahon.
The Lions have had better receivers.
Well, the Lions have a history of great receivers, so I won't say the Lions. I'm talking the Chicago Bears, though, who don't have a great history of receivers and don't have a great history of quarterbacks. Running backs, a different situation. Defense, a different situation. But with quarterbacks and receivers,
All right, so I can only think of really one, like, megastar, Mount Rushmore level quarterback that the team didn't look at them and being like, oh, you can cover up so many holes, we don't have to surround you with so much. And that's Peyton Manning. They literally built that team around him. Even the defense was built around his offense getting up early and just having those two D ends rush.
Who were amazing.
And then having Bob Sanders knock people out across the middle.
He was undersized.
So was Bob Sanders, but he was out there laying people out.
Right, but he was a monster.
But, you know, you got to think about it. Montana, Steve Young, Marino, Elway, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, they built it around him. That's another one that they built it around the offense more.
Jim Kelly.
More. But historically, you know, you got to have the balance. There's usually a solid running game and a really good defense.
Yep.
And then really good coaches are usually involved, right? Peyton Manning was like the one exception. They're like, no, it's all him. We're just going to constantly build around this guy. So it's different. Now, if you were a GM and you had Justin Herbert, are you not tempted to be like, yo, I'm just building around this kid? Whatever he needs, I don't fucking care.
This is what they're doing, though. This is exactly what the Chargers have shown you that they're going to do for him.
It's so rare that you land that.
They're going to protect the shit out of him. You know, I wanted Justin Herbert. I was so angry that we ended up getting Danny Dum-Dum because I wanted Herbert, but that's okay, whatever. We'll work it out.
Well, I think Tom Telesco and the Chargers can look at Andrew Luck's history, because what they ended up getting by chance is they got another Andrew Luck. Nobody knew this kid was going to be another Andrew Luck. It just kind of happened.
Absolutely.
He's the same size, same football IQ, same arm.
And he could actually leave the game at any time, and he was on track to be a damn physician.
Yeah.
It is mega smart. But then he also, and it was because of that they questioned his passion for football. He was still passionate for football, but he wasn't the sis boom ba guy, because he had to study.
Well, he's one of those people that's just like, yo, I play football. I'm not just a football player, you know.
Yeah. Which is what Trevor Lawrence was telling them.
Exactly. They don't. I get it. So, but yeah, you know, I'm doing the same thing. I'm building all around this kid. Whatever it is you need, whatever we can get.
And then what's their running back situation right now? What's their running back situation? Did they pick one up? I'm trying to remember.
Chargers. Here we go. Oh shit. Hold on. I hate that ESPN's page does this. What? Exit. What's that? Eckler. Austin Eckler. That was.
They got Justin Jackson. I mean, whatever. Yeah, Justin Jackson, right? Out of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And who else? They still have the same running back room?
Yeah, it's Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson, Joshua Kelly, and Larry Roundtree III.
I don't like it.
Me neither, because Eckler can't stay healthy, so.
I don't like it.
And, who was that guy that was their backup last year?
Well, it was Josh Kelly. It was between Josh Kelly and Justin Jackson.
Nah, it was another guy that came in late.
Oh, the other one who came in. Yeah. It was getting busy for a couple games.
Yeah, running like his life depended on it.
Now he's gone. I think.
Yeah, what happened to that guy? I like that guy.
Another team snapped him up because they dropped him actually after Eckler got back.
Yeah, no, that kid ran hard when he got his chance. He ran hard.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't like that running back room, and so I think they really need to step that up. But otherwise, they protected him. He has the receivers. They won in the tight end free agency.
Yeah, they got Jared Cook.
They got Jared Cook. They did some good things on defense.
They picked up Corey Linsley. That's a big pickup at center.
Huge. They got an All-Pro at center.
So for them, their defense it's all about their defense staying healthy, because that's what really hurt them. Is all their studs got hurt last year.
Got hurt. Yeah. Then Bosa was in and out of the lineup. Their linebackers was continuously getting hurt.
So you got to look. I know we're
Derwin James, but he'll be back.
You got. I mean, just because I have the roster up, they also have Chris Harris Jr.
Ooh, at corner, awesome.
And they just drafted Asante Samuel Jr. So their secondary is loaded.
Yeah, they get Derwin James back. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you got Harris, Derwin James, and I don't know who this Michael Davis is at the other corner, but I'm imagining that Sante Samuel Jr. is going to take his gerb.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
What's the linebacker situation looking like right now?
They do have Kazir White from West Virginia.
Kazir White, he's a player.
He likes to hit people. He's a hitter.
Yeah, he's a hitter.
Other than that, it's Nwosu. They do got Nwosu.
Also, he gets some pressure. He's a nasty one.
Yeah, so they need they're
Linebacker help, and
their middle is kind of soft right now on defense.
Yeah.
But they do got Joey Bosa up front though, dude.
And then you get Derwin James back, who kind of takes up for the deficiencies of the linebacking core. But he has to stay healthy, and that's one of his biggest problems.
Big loss for them though. The other D end, Melvin Ingram's not there anymore.
Oh, he bounced?
Yeah, he's not on their depth chart anymore.
Where did he go? Because he was hurt all last year.
Yeah, I knew they weren't going to want to pay him, knowing that they're going to have to pay Joey Bosa in a year from now.
I mean, Melvin got there before him. He's older.
That's what I'm saying. So, I don't know, but him not being there is kind of that's a big hole to fill. Yeah, that's a big hole. So now you could just double and chip Joey Bosa and double him the entire game and limit his effectiveness.
Really makes the running back room more glaring, because when you have to try to run clock, which was the thing, because the Chargers were up in a lot of games against teams they should not have been up against, but they couldn't run the clock because they couldn't run the rock. And then you put the game on your rookie quarterback's shoulders a lot. And then they were calling terrible plays.
Yeah, their decision making from the coaches were horrible. The whole Keenan Allen, he's unstoppable. Jalen Guyton,
healthy this year, so it's like you wasted a healthy Keenan Allen year.
Yeah, I know. Jalen Guyton was getting busy, so that's a good third receiver.
Yep.
Mike Williams, what are you going to do with your career?
I know, because that guy should be dominating.
You're gonna have a chance. You got the chosen one at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike Williams. It's tough. I mean, it shouldn't be though. You got Keenan Allen eating up all those double teams. So like, go get busy.
You no longer have Hunter Henry, but you have Cook, who throughout his career has been more durable. So that's a huge plus, because you know what my favorite attribute is availability. Cats who could show up. I don't care how good you are. If you are always on the sidelines, you have no help. So
well, they also drafted Trey McKitty at tight end.
yeah.
All right, so Trey McKitty, this is a tight end that was kind of on my watch list. He used to play at Florida State, and then went to Georgia. He used to get busy at Florida State with no quarterback there.
Right.
That's where this is like the the post Jimbo era, so they sucked. But he can get busy, so it also helps that you have a quarterback that is that goddamn talented. So it's going to make you look better. So
also great that you bring in a new coaching regime that hopefully they know what the hell they do.
yeah, well, Mike Williams better have a good year. Hopefully. All right, so yeah, quick snap, offensive rookie of the year.
Oh. Wow. It's hard. I immediately what came to my mind was Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase, but I feel like it's not going to be. If I had those two in mind or the field, I might take the field.
See, I'm thinking about the same thing. To me, I think those two will have the best season, the most effective. But if any of the quarterbacks has any success, they're going to win it. It's fucking rookie quarterback. But you look for Chase getting back with his homeboy to have that instant rapport already. Yeah. So they have a lot of targets. And they've already got a stud who they put at number one already.
I would say for Trevor Lawrence to win, the Jags have to at least get 9-10 wins.
Yeah, 9 wins isn't even a big deal anymore. So 9, and he has to have solid numbers.
He has to have solid numbers, and
Low
then
picks.
they can blame the losses on the defense.
Yeah, 100%.
So he would have so he has a great shot being number one, but that's what would have to happen. Kyle was no, I'm not even thinking Jets. Nope. Fields, I don't know what they're gonna do just yet. He would have to get in early.
Plus, they still have the Aaron Rodgers thing looming. Oh, no, Fields is in Chicago, so I don't look for him to have offensive rookie of the year type numbers.
Sure. Trey Lance, I don't think it's gonna get enough opportunity yet.
There's no running back that's going to get enough carries.
Yeah. So I it's between Lawrence, Pitts, and Chase in my mind, but you could have like a like oddly enough, you could have like someone like a Tony who just like one of those teams like the G's who need a playmaker and he's playmaking.
That's what I'm saying. One of these receivers could have like 1,000 yards and like 8 touchdowns or something.
Because remember,
Oh, shit.
Odell, we got somebody coming.
Nice. Popping in at the last second.
So, because remember, Odell Beckham with the blonde hair didn't play until after the 5th game because he had a hammy. Came in, and Eli threw to him exclusively, and he destroyed it, and he was offensive rookie here.
All right, nice. Quick pick. Offensive rookie of the year.
Offensive rookie of the year. I'll go with Kyle Pitts.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, it's Pitts. Chase has an opportunity because he's back with his homeboy. He'll probably put up some big numbers. Pitts, though, you look to have a bunch of touchdowns because he just doesn't. Matty Ice Cream does not like to throw to Julio in the red zone for some reason.
Yep. Kyle Pitts is going to be a monster in that red zone.
All right, nice. Carey, offensive or defensive rookie of the year.
Defensive, that might be a hard one. I'm going with the Cowboys. Parsons. Go with Parsons.
I'll say Kwity Paye has the opportunity to.
Kwity Paye. I'm leaning Kwity Paye.
Yeah, he has the opportunity to put up double-digit sack numbers on a really good defense.
Leaning Kwity Paye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so which one of these quarterbacks do you guys project to have the best career?
Best career. I mean, I gotta go with my man Zach. I gotta go with Zach and Trevor Lawrence. I gotta go with them two.
All right, so the real answer was Trevor Lawrence. You're just being a Jets fan by saying Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence got it. He got it.
I'm saying for the situation that he's in, Trey Lance, my B would be Justin Fields.
Yeah, Trey Lance could possibly, just because of where he's at, because they have a history of making every quarterback that plays for them play way above their actual ability.
Yeah.
Set him up. It's like
Shanahan effect.
The GM, Trey Lance is always going to have everything he needs for success.
All right.
Shanahan effect.
All right.
That's what we got at the Jets Nation too. You heard?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's like he forgot all about Seattle all of a sudden because of this. He got switched alliances, and now all of a sudden he ain't saying nobody about Seattle.
All right, so
I'm going Jets and Jags this year, man. That's my 2 teams.
All right, so nice. Let me ask you something. If they trade Russell Wilson for Aaron Rodgers, are you now going to be a Green Bay fan? Because Russell Wilson's your guy. That's your guy.
That's my guy. No, it ain't gonna be I'm not gonna be a Green Bay fan. I'm a root for them, but my 2 teams right now, I'm sticking with it: the Jags and the Jets. I'm running with those 2. I'm running with those 2, man.
I mean, everybody knows. I'm watching Tampa Bay because of Tom, but I'm really my footballdom is with the Chargers because it's Justin Herbert, man, and and now they don't have idiots making the decisions. This should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be.
These all day, a day.
And of course, I'm going to be watching the Browns a lot too.
I will be
Yeah, I definitely will be watching a lot of Browns football.
running back. Is there, but I'm also watching the Chargers too because, I mean, I fucks with Herbert and I've been fucking with him, so I'm gonna be rocking with him. I mean, it hurts my heart because the Texans were my. Cause I was in A-Town, I was 3 blocks away from them. You know what I'm saying? But I can't even do nothing with them right now. I gotta pause on the Texans right now.
Yeah, they're finished. They're finished. Complete disarray going on over there.
All right, so how about this? Surprise team of the league.
Well, you guys know this is one thing that's the beauty about the NFL. There's always the first, the worst to first phenomenon that happens in the NFL, and there's always at least two divisions that have a team that wasn't even in the playoffs that end up winning that division.
Yeah,
At minimum.
I'm going with the Jags, man. I think the Jags gonna do it.
Let's see. Well, the Texans suck, so they're going to be able to beat them a couple times at least. They do have to play the Colts twice. That's not gonna go well for them.
Gonna go well.
That also depends on how well Carson Wentz actually plays. Because if he's playing like current level Carson Wentz, it doesn't matter how good the rest of the team is.
Exactly.
Kobe Briskets, nah?
Yeah. Where isn't he down there?
Who?
Jacoby Brisket.
Where is he?
Oh
I
shit.
think he's
Or is he still there?
Where?
I think he's Ain't he still with the Colts?
No, he is not.
Not right? Yeah, because I was like, is he not? Yeah, because when they brought in Carson, I think that's when
He's in Miami.
Oh, he's in Miami. Oh, okay.
You know what's so funny about that? When I went to go type him in the search bar, I actually typed Brisket. Yo, so nice. Now that you popped back in right when we was getting ready to stop talking about football, I can ask you about your guy.
Who's that?
Your guy above all guys.
LeBron.
Yeah, your guy LeBron.
Oh man, I think LeBron and them is actually just doing this whole rest load bullshit. I think that's what they doing, man. I don't really see, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they just giving him enough rest for that playoff run, man.
No,
don't think
I
that-
get it because he even said, "Yo, his ankle it will never be the same." So he actually it was a big injury, and plus he is old.
Yeah, it was a big one.
He said even if he gets to 100% on the ankle, it'll never be exactly the
He
same.
said it'll never be 100% because of the workload. You know, he's never gonna get a break. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
that's what
this though,
happened.
your boy Dennis Schroeder obviously got Corona.
Yeah, well, these things is like, I don't know, man. Like, all of a sudden he got the Rona, the rest of the team didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's weird.
Vaccinated. I mean, then he got it.
Yo, but nice. It was funny because LeBron, when they talked about the play-in games, the play-in tournament at the beginning of the season, he was all about it. He was like, "It's a good idea," blah blah blah. And now the Lakers might be in the play-in tournament. He said, "This is the stupidest shit ever."
Yeah.
Everybody should be fighting, and it's Adam Silver, the commissioner.
Yeah, he just see the whole thing with LeBron is he just don't want to do too much more work. He want to get to the playoffs. Just let the playoffs start already. He on, man. I don't forget this regular season shit. You know what I'm saying? He became that type of guy now.
Later years talk about I should be MVP, and he wants to win every chip from this point forward because now he's thinking about his legacy, and he's tired of Jordan keep coming up or other people ahead of him. So he's arguing to get MVPs and to make sure he gets chips every year. And see what the other teams in the league are doing, and he's feeling like it's against him. You like see what Brooklyn's doing? See what these other teams they got to get for me because I'm the MVP. So I mean, he's still extra super swaggy with it. And he feels like it should be him all the way until the day he's done.
Yeah.
Yo, nice.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for you guys. For your guys this year.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think. See, one thing about it, LeBron is gonna be ready to go, but Anthony Davis is the key, and he is a problem right now. The way
Well-
how he's playing right now.
Unibowing all the way right now.
Well, nice. We
Yeah.
talked about it before the season even started. What did we say?
Yeah.
The Lakers, the issue with them is going to be injuries going into the playoffs because they literally won a championship, had 2
Yeah.
weeks off, and then
Yeah,
started the
and
next
they
season.
Started the next season.
Where you
That
have
was the
other
big
teams that didn't even make it to the playoff bubble.
problem. Yeah, that
The regular break, but they got like really extra no break.
Absolutely no break. Like that was like an all-star break.
No
yeah.
this year. It's not like they could just roll out all the bench players and say, "Hey, play the first 20 games while we recover." Because
Yeah.
on over 20, and that
Mhm.
Well, plus they also had they made the rule this year that the players had to play X amount of games, blah blah blah. You can only sit out so many because fans, even though fans there were no buying tickets and whatnot, it's just people don't want to watch.
yeah.
You know, so we knew this was going to happen. So honestly, I don't look at for the Lakers possibly to not even make the NBA Finals due to health issues going through the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah, man. Like I
Especially if
said,
LeBron's ankle, if he gets re-injured, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Like I said, man, Anthony Davis, it's really on him. I'm not too much worried about LeBron because even LeBron at 60% is still a problem.
Well, see, nice.
know
What's
what I
going to
mean?
happen is, all right. So we both know. Well, all of us know at this point. We've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron likes to when he doesn't get to rest for games. So what he does is he tends to rest on defense.
Yeah.
Right. So now
Yeah.
you're going to look at a LeBron who's going to be even more ineffective on defense because
Yeah.
he's also a little bit less mobile and whatnot.
Yeah. Yep.
Superior help with JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, who
Yeah.
so you really feeling that absence now because now you just got Andre Drummond and who else? Gasol? Come on.
Yeah.
Speed? Come on now. That's a definite.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I
like
said. Especially now, if he can go and win a chip this year,
Rondo, who Rondo already had the relationship with AD, so it was Lob City all day. They had had unspoken communication.
Yeah, man. They shouldn't have broken up that team. But like I said, they got good pieces. It's all on AD right now. To me, it's all on AD. AD has to perform. See, like last night, the reason why they beat the Nuggets last night is because AD performed. He was aggressive.
well,
He had to be there.
also the see, I don't watch enough basketball. The dude for the Nuggets that got hurt, the light skinned dude from Canada.
Oh, Murray.
Yeah, Murray's not
Murray.
playing. He's out for the year. So
Yeah, but the Nuggets been beasting still. That's why Jokic is gonna get MVP.
They got more light-skinned players. They got Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah. They've been balling.
so you got you got the Nuggets and you got the Clippers if the Clippers get healthy.
Honestly, they got all like the Nuggets.
So
the Nuggets is a problem.
So you got the Clippers and the Nuggets that the Lakers still have to go through to even make it to the NBA Finals, where they're going to inevitably run into the New York Knicks.
Knicks is balling though. I gotta give it to them. Man.
And if you didn't know, you better know. And Derrick Rose is the
D Rose. I said it.
baby.
I said it once. Once I seen D Rose went over there with Tibbs, I knew they was gonna make the playoff.
Different because he brings in that mentality.
Mm-hmm. And quickly is dope.
It's basketball like he's a football coach. So
Yeah.
Tim has his guys and only his guy. Jimmy, look at his guys. Jimmy Butler, Todd,
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Rose. He's a Joaquin. No,
Mhm.
he's a tough guys. You know what I'm saying? He's a tough.
Yeah.
Well, they also the Knicks also got Julius Randle playing out of his fucking
Playing out of
mind.
his
All
fucking
mentality.
mind right now. Shout out to Julius Irving Randle.
Yo,
Julius Irving Randle right now. He is balling ridiculous.
Julius Randle, let me give you one piece of advice. New York City is opening itself back up. Do not hang out with Tyson.
Don't hang out with T-Dub. Dub's gonna have you in all types of shit. You're gonna play terrible the next night. You're gonna average 2 points a game.
Listen, do not follow the J.R. Smith motto. Clubs with Rihanna during the playoffs.
Yeah, so you got realistically the Knicks, yeah, they are going to make the playoffs, but the Nets, if the Nets are healthy, so not only do the Lakers have to go through at least one of those teams in the playoffs, Denver and LA might have to play each. It depends on how the brackets come out, right?
Yeah.
And then you also have to play the Nets when you get there. So if LeBron can actually win this title, being injured and a 2-week layoff, no, I told you he gets the Tom Brady status. He's not the most talented. He's just the GOAT.
Yeah.
He'll get it because it's retarded. The things he's done is retarded at this longevity.
Like in the way like manipulated the game.
Yeah.
Him. Like one single player manipulated the game to fit him. And you know what I mean? It's like very few players in the history of the game have been able to do that. I mean, look at what they did with Wilt Chamberlain. They made rules to stop him. You know what I mean? Multiple rules. And how things went with Jordan, right? And hand checking and all that. With things went with AI and how the game changed because of Allen Iverson. And how the game changed again with Shaq not getting called and all this because he's just too big. And the game changing again with Steph Curry and all that. But LeBron has he made super teams not a dirty word. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So whereas the old schools, like I would have never did that, they look, who cares? Like this is how we do it now.
Flea.
Guy's named Jamario Moon.
Flea, you might be right. Yes, we're all MJ all day, but what you're not taking into account, and Steph has changed the game, the modern basketball more, but what you have to take into account is LeBron has now changed professional sports because the NFL is now the fucking NBA with the way its free agency works, and that's all man. LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron changed the game, man.
Yeah.
You got it.
And also how he speaks up on issues.
So
he doesn't hide. You know, he doesn't hide.
And don't forget, he took that Cleveland team with Rodney Hood and Kyle Korver and them niggas to the finals.
No. I'm going back before that. That's what I'm saying. Jamario Moon.
Oh yeah, Moon, Gibson.
You know what I'm saying? Ira Newble. He took these guys against the Spurs.
Yeah,
He dropped 25 in the fourth quarter against a Pistons team who could have had a three-peat.
Yeah, Pistons had Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace.
That
they had squad over there.
Yeah, no, see, Flea, I like how the NFL has changed more to where there's some player mobility, and it's not just like you get into this team and you're locked there till you got 2 years left on your deal, and then you might be able to make a move. Now players are like, nah, fuck this shit, I want out, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Especially when you get these players, these all-time players who get stuck on these suck teams, and they have a sucky general manager who never makes the right moves, and they have terrible head coaches who don't know how to be leaders of men.
Well, Kerry, you have to look at the way the NFL. All right, so the landscape change, especially now, for players being like, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm out. You got the GOAT. You got Tom leaving New England and then going and winning a chip, and now you got a Mount Rushmore quarterback saying, "Fuck this shit, I want out of here, get me out." To where it used to be, Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, you'd have to retire.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about, Detroit. You know how I feel about that shit. You know that hurts my heart. You have these all-time players who get stuck on these teams who don't figure it out. Detroit picks a wide receiver in the first round in 4 consecutive drafts. When they have so many other things.
So could you imagine if the Raiders would have been salty at Randy Moss and would have just kept him there or not released him? How his history would have been written?
We would have lost Randy Moss. We would have lost that.
Yeah. So that's crazy. It's crazy. So shout out to Matthew Stafford for getting out while he still has some football left in him.
We've been saying that about him. We've been wanting Matty Stafford out of there. Get out of there and go someplace where they care about winning.
Well, also look at Jim Irsay with Peyton Manning, releasing him, letting him go.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, nah, if you're not going to play, it's here or nowhere.
And honestly, it's tough. But he had Andrew Luck. And I can't blame him. That was a great business decision.
And then shout out to Gronk for being the anti. When they tried to trade him, he said, if you try to trade me to Detroit, I will fucking retire. Fuck you. And then go on to win 2 more chips. Possibly more.
Yep.
Hilarious. Yeah, you couldn't. It couldn't have been like that back in the day. They were you just got traded.
Yeah. Yep.
No say in football, none.
And half the time they wouldn't even tell you they were trading you. You just found out. So it's good to see the players have some power.
Dressing this game now. You're not dressing this game. What do you mean I'm not dressing the people?
Who was the one player that got traded at halftime?
Wait. Yeah, the corner.
The corner got traded at halftime.
Yeah. Monte Davis?
No, he's the one who quit at halftime.
Quit at halftime.
Yeah.
It was the corner who got traded at halftime. I'm forgetting his name right now.
Yeah, he got traded at fucking halftime.
That's super greasy. Man.
All right, so Flea got a question for us. Who's the worst franchise? The Bengals or the Lions?
I'll go with the damn. That's a good question because I'll go with the Bengals, man.
And the Bengals actually could have won the Super Bowl against Joe Montana-led 49ers, and it came down to the last second. Jerry Rice was the MVP of this game. But John Taylor caught a post in the back of the end zone with 16 seconds left. But Esiason, Boomer Esiason, Ickey Woods, and all them boys had it on and really had ropes and could have won that one. Before he retired, before George Seifert took over.
All right, so the only thing that I think of is it worse to make historically great players retire, or is it worse to not have an indoor practice facility as an NFL franchise? It's probably worth $1 billion.
I'm going with the Bengals, man. They were terrible for years.
Oh man, this is tough. It's tough. I would have to actually go with the Lions because there's the the Bengals at least made it to a Super Bowl.
Thank you.
And they had that whole Carson Palmer.
Were they making the playoffs all the time?
What's his the head coach? What the fuck is his name?
Lewis.
Marvin. I kept wanting to say Ramon Lewis.
Marvin Lewis, yeah.
Like he's a wrestler.
That's why I got stuck. I was just like, wait a minute, it's not Ramon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they had too many. Yeah, no. Detroit had not made Super Bowl, y'all, in the Super Bowl era. Detroit has not made the Super Bowl, and they have had all-time players. Dick Night Train Lane, an all-time player at corner. Herman Moore, Calvin Johnson, an all-time player. Barry Sanders, Mel Ray. You wasted all this talent. Lomas Brown at left tackle.
Yeah, but it's the Bengals, man. That's the Bengals.
Wasted talent. Wasted.
Well, I mean, even today, if you were like, if it was time to get drafted or you were a free agent and you had your choice, you're probably going to go to the Bengals. A little bit more upside with Joey Boyband over there.
Oh, yeah. Easy. That's an easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you broke it down, the Lions is terrible.
Oh, dude, they're so bad. Like, historically bad. They've literally it's just been Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson were so good that it makes people think that they were good at a time, and they weren't. Those two were good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, you got to remember the Lions didn't have an actual quarterback until Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's actually true. Yeah, they are the worst.
Because you had Barry Sanders, Herman Moore, Johnny Morton, one of the Blades boys, against a Washington team that you should have beat. You got blown out.
Yeah, they've always had terrible quarterbacks.
You got Scott Mitchell at quarterback.
Yeah.
You got blown.
Then there was that whole
Hall of Fame talent.
Joey Harrington debacle.
You got Robert Crochet at defensive end. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm getting upset about it right now. I'm mad.
I will say this though. Shout out to the Lions for drafting. Well, I don't think they drafted. I think he was an undrafted free agent pickup, but he did make his money there and his name for having Eddie Drummond play for them. Just because he's from home.
That's your guy.
That's my guy right there.
Yeah. Listen, in college, he was a monster. And he got to the league. He did a couple things in the league.
Yeah, he was an all-pro kick returner.
Yeah, he did some things in the league.
Well, I mean, that's one of those things, like we said, DK Metcalf wants to go be an Olympic sprinter. Well, Eddie Drummond was a sprinter in college and was not even close to being Olympic level. So let's be realistic about what
the different type of speed. It's a different type of speed.
Well, also, Kerry, you have to understand what they're not thinking of is, we saw you chase him down, but still, football speed is typically 10 to 40-yard bursts in some manner, right? Yeah. It's rarely a 100-yard sprint.
Yeah.
I've trained with, and I'm telling you, the workouts, the speed, the endurance, the strength, different. And there's no way to really truly explain it. You just have to get out there and then be shown, and then you will never ever again in your life think unless you did what they did, but from a long time ago.
Well, I mean, I could always that first 40 yards, I'm always good, but then then the track speed kicks in, and the football muscle memory, kicks in, and just like, wait a minute, we don't run this far. What are you doing? And then you see that stride kick in.
When they say that the monkey jumps on your back, and then sometimes it's the elephant that jumps on your back.
Word. So all right, last question. Which rookie will have the biggest impact? Instant.
Biggest impact?
Instant impact from day one.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Because he's going to be starter out the gate.
But is he going to be effective out the gate? Impact, actual impact, improve, making your team better. Impact.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
The Jaguars were horrific, so yes. That's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with Trevor.
I could see that. I mean, well, Fleet. I can see how people would say Fields because Chicago as a team is better than Jacksonville. So if you improve the quarterback, even anything above money-making Mitch.
Well, what I'm saying is this: they already have the Chicago Bears. I really like their running back. They bolstered their offensive line. They're going to be running more, and I'm not sure when Fields is actually going to get in the game because he has two vets in front of him. Trevor Lawrence is going to get in the game immediately.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I'm gonna go with Trevor, man.
We got to think about who's getting the opportunity. Trevor Lawrence is going to get the opportunity from day one.
100%.
Don't know.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me. I'm gonna think about this. Let me pull up the list because we can't all just say Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, you could.
I mean, it makes sense because Zach Wilson's going to be starting from day one.
I know.
Yeah.
And I didn't say him. I knew that.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time with Zach, but he's gonna be all right.
I mean, I think clearly Pitts is going to have an immediate impact from day one, just because he's a freak, and tight ends can typically come in and have an impact.
But you also have Calvin Ridley. If we're talking about Julio Jones being healthy, yeah, Kyle Pitts is gonna get busy, but
yeah, but
we also have Calvin Ridley.
I think he'll get more busy in the red zone.
I think that Slater, the tackle that the Chargers picked up, will have.
It could be huge, but it's like, okay, so then how are we rating this? You know, I know because offensive linemen obviously get left out a lot, right? So how will we quantify Rashawn Slater having a better year than a skill position?
by Herbert not being on his back, essentially. I think
If you say that if he didn't give up any sacks and like they ran to his side more often than they ran to the other side, then we can quantify that.
I think Kwity Paye will have a big impact immediately. We'd already talked about it. And I think your guy, Tony, is actually going to have a bigger impact than you had originally thought.
Yeah, Tony is gonna be a problem, man.
I told you that.
Problem.
I told you this is going to come down to Jason Garrett. If he can figure out how to use Tony, because then if he can, just like a la Percy Harvin, a la all the other guys we talked about that are like this, who figure out how to use these gadget guys, right? Tavon Austin, you know what I'm saying? If he figures out how to use them, then yes, sure.
I think Bateman has a chance to have a big year, obviously. Just because they don't really have anybody to throw it to anyway.
I love Bateman. Who's on the other side of Bateman, though?
Elijah Moore is gonna have a big year as well, too.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown.
Elijah Moore gonna have a big year too, man.
Okay. It's just, Lamar Jackson just has to show me that he's going to be willing to throw to the wide receiver position more than the tight end.
I think Rousseau in Buffalo is going to be dope because they don't have a pass rush at all. So,
guys, that's one of my guys, and I love that for him. And then, my fellow UH Eddie Oliver should have a better season next season.
Yeah, Parsons is gonna have a good year too, man.
The Dallas
linebackers
are set up for great success. They got studs at linebacker now. They got faster and they got more athletic. The question is, did they get more awareness? Did they get, you know what I'm saying? Because you lost your smartest linebacker in Sean Lee. Now we have to see if these other linebackers can pick it up in the awareness arena.
Yeah.
You have all the speed and athleticism you want, but if you don't know where to be at the right time, it doesn't matter.
All right, so this Eskridge kid from Western Michigan,
I like him.
Plus he's ended up in Seattle where they need someone besides the two big guys they got. So
a lot. I thought that was a great pick by them.
That one, and then there was one more. Owusu in Cleveland, of course. You're going to a fucking loaded defense.
Yeah, that defense is gonna look very scary.
The thing is, with Owusu,
scary.
how many snaps is he gonna get?
Exactly. So the other one was Barmore in New England.
Barmore has an opportunity to get in there.
Literally start on day one. Here, this is your job. You start from day one.
He has an opportunity to be a wolf work.
Yeah. Yeah. So look for him.
Huge impact. Yeah.
All right. So who are we going to end up breaking down next week? Who was after you guys in the draft originally before the trade started happening? It was the Eagles, wasn't it? All right. So we got the Eagles next week.
Or as I say, the Devils.
Yeah, we got those guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Those guys.
I'll be.
Yeah, we'll be here. So we'll talk about if Jalen Hurts can actually. I mean, it was an upgrade over Carson Wentz.
Sure.
This is not competent NFL playoff caliber quarterback play. I hate to break your hearts, Eagles fans. It is just what it is.
Yeah.
Hey,
But they got Devontae.
on the roster, Greg Ward, who got disrespected a lot, but if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have been even as good as they were.
Yeah, it's definitely sleeper. He's a huge sleeper in that position.
Showed up and he balled.
Yeah. 100%. So, yeah, we'll see what how many tears LeBron sheds going into the play-in game.
LeBron crying me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gonna see. We gonna see what it look like.
We're going to see nice.
Crying me. You know it's gonna be him of when it's ankle.
Yeah, we shall see. Well, Zach Wilson does have great hair. Nice. We'll see.
He's gonna ball out, man. And he got Elijah Moore.
It's not his football acumen that bothers me.
Corey Davis.
Yeah, this is true.
Yes, Corey Davis. Elijah Moore hasn't done shit in the league yet.
Well, can Corey Davis?
Elijah gonna be special.
Can Corey Davis step up his play and not be a competent number 2?
Has to be a number 1. The Tennessee drafted him to be a number 1. He clearly wasn't there, and then that's why AJ Brown took his drill. So now he had to, and I think Robert Saleh is not going to allow anything less than.
And he won't, because we've typically seen this a lot. All right, you see it happens especially with wide receivers.
Yeah.
Above all other positions, you get drafted to be that guy, and then you kind of don't pan out as that guy, and then somebody else comes in and they end up being the guy. But then you get your foot in as like a good number 2 or a slot receiver, and then you get a contract to go somewhere else and be the guy again. But you were never able to be the guy.
But also, sometimes you just have to have a coach that pushes your right button.
Yeah.
You're talking Bill Parcells, Terry Glenn. You know this exactly what I'm saying, Joe.
Yeah.
And how Terry Glenn was hurt as he didn't make OTAs and all that, and then Bill Parcells chastised him in the media, and then Terry Glenn went on to have one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I just don't see. He never once showed me anything that says I am a true number 1 in this league, because the second that A.J. Brown came in, you saw what a real number 1 is.
Absolutely.
And A.J. Brown's not even that fast.
Nah. Yeah. But he's just a dominant. Like, he's a post player. He's a power forward playing wide receiver.
He's Anquan Bolden Jr.
Yes, and who was his roommate? Elijah Moore.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Elijah Moore.
Well, him and DK Metcalf played on the same team, but they
and Elijah Moore.
Okay.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Yeah, I know, that shit is retarded.
What a wide receiver room.
Yeah, we've discussed this numerous times. How in the fuck they didn't go undefeated with that?
Yeah, it's called bad quarterback play. Yeah. Quarterback was terrible.
And also bad karma, because what you think that head coach did to get all 3 of them there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how the fuck do you end up with all 3 of those guys?
Also in news of Ole Miss news, Robert Nkemdiche is back in the league. I can't remember who signed him, but he was that big defensive end out of New Jersey who was like all ballyhooed, and he was supposed to be the man, and it flamed out for him in Arizona. But he got picked up by a team recently, and I'm wondering if we're going to see the same thing with him as we saw with Aldon Smith. Like,
yeah, but now you see what happened to Aldon Smith. He's right back.
Well, but Aldon is destined to murder someone. I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to wish that on anybody, but he destined to like murder somebody.
It's going to happen. So my question, Kerry, along this lines is, oh fuck, I had his name. I smoked too much goddamn weed. Shit, I had his name in my head about him entering back into the league. God damn it.
Josh Gordon.
No.
Okay.
More violent than that.
Oh, I know exactly who
I know what you're talking about.
Panthers, and then he went to Dallas.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy.
Well, he's an MMA fighter now.
Yeah, no, so he's already doing his murder.
Yeah, he's allowed to beat people up.
So did Michael Westbrook did the same thing. He just went to the league so he could beat people up.
Yeah.
Is it Aldon Smith you talking about?
Nah, it'll come to my head. I had it, but then I got another thought because I smoked too much goddamn weed. But all right,
which one? What position?
It was linebacker. It was linebacker.
That's perfect.
Nah, I'll text you whenever it pops into my head, because this Zoom meeting is over, and so is this episode of Gray Matter, because I got some weed to smoke, even though I smoke too much goddamn weed. So we will be in touch. Nice. You ain't nice, God.
Album comes out Friday, baby.
Friday, what up? What up? What up? Friday. Saturday, I'm gonna hit you. What are you doing Saturday?
Interview, gang of them. I got an interview to do in a couple minutes too.
All right, word. So Saturday, I might hit you for the same exact thing.
What's
Alright.
up with the debut album celebration? What's going on?
Yeah, you know, it's gonna be interviews that day, press.
You know, we still just kind of getting outside of the Roni, and we ain't fully out of there yet.
Yeah. So that's all I got all week is press right now.
All right, word. So we gonna be in touch. Nice, Carrie. Nice. I
All right,
appreciate it.
You already know.
All right, Flea. You already know, homie. I appreciate you stopping by and holding it down with us the entire episode of Gray Matter. Nice with the double dip. Showed up twice today. That's super dope. So shout out to Nice for coming by. Shout out to you guys for listening to us talk about the NFL draft and Brahms bum ass. And I guess we'll see you next Tuesday at 8 when we will be breaking down the fucking Eagles. Fuck the Eagles.